Gang, gang, gang. What's going on, everybody? Right now we're in the top of the ninth right now. We're a little bit early, but Yankees are up 5-4. Good sign. And again, they're showing the ability to not only mesh these rookies with some of the veterans, but we play Holmes is warming up in the ninth in the bullpen. But they're showing the ability to manufacture runs by putting the ball in play. Whether it be Austin Wells at the sacrifice, with the bases sacrifice, like the bases loaded, but like Dominguez moving, Judge over the base hit, like timely hitting, and they're putting the ball in play. So they're doing things that they haven't been doing much, doing all year. So, by the way, I'm going to have Jim Riley from Ballcap Sports come on. We'll do our monthly recap of stuff. So he'll be on a little bit too. But shout out to everybody in the chat room. Shout out. Love and respect to all yous. I don't know if you saw, but I was on Morning Brew Sports this morning with Nathan Ramachandra and Hector and them, and we were on a panel. We had Brian Hoke on, Yankee beat writer, and it was a very good, very, very good discussion. And so I thank those guys for having me on, and that was a good time. So I'm going to try and get Brian Hoke on here so we can have a discussion too. I'm going to try and get some Yankees on here. I think it'll be easier to get some players once the season's over. They tend to be a little bit more receptive once that happens. So I'm going to try my best to get some people on here. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep trying to get some Yankee people on here regardless. So, because Yankees win, USC Trojans win 59-4. Did Colorado win today? They were winning like 45-42 on Coach Deion Sanders' coaching debut. I saw that at the restaurant. I said, damn. He's got a pretty he runs a pretty tight ship over Colorado, so I hope that works out over there for Deion. So, high fly ball, right center for Volpe. All right, we're going into the bottom of the ninth. We got 3 outs to go. Looks like Clay Holmes is coming in. Yep, Holmes is coming in to face Abreu, Brantley, and Diaz. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, Oswald Peraza's bat coming to life. Judge could reach 40. I think Stanton can reach 30. Stanton's 1 away from 400, which is nice. So I think Judge has a possibility. Man, he missed 50 freaking games. You get 40 home runs and miss 50 games, man. That's pretty damn good. The Buffs won 45-42. All right. Shout out NFE. Shout out to Deion Sanders. Yeah, I hope he does a great job over there. It'd be awesome if we get Hoke to jump on a live stream. Oh man, it would be freaking phenomenal. It would be phenomenal. So I'm gonna try and get Hoke. I'm gonna try and get some other folks too. And Sunil blew up, but it's all good, dude. It's all good. So it's all right. It's all good, man. What else we got here? Long on your videos, man. Dude, look, you give, and I appreciate your responses. Like I figured I was gonna ruffle some feathers this morning. I think I ruffled the feathers of the haters. Because I show, if anybody hasn't seen, I was excited about the youth movement, and I credited Dominguez, Volpe, Peraza, Pereira, Judge, all these guys, Austin Wells. Every single one of those guys was either drafted or acquired signed internationally by Brian Cashman. So I gave him credit for that. And, of course, the haters were going to do their thing, and I get it. Sometimes ego will get in the way and won't let them. I can't give this guy pat. I can't give him credit when it's due, because you know how we do that here. We'll give him criticism when it's due. We'll give him credit when it's due. And you know what I mean? Spicy fried chicken. Damn, you're hooking up the good meals, man. I did see Jimmy Buffett passed away, unfortunately. Yeah. We lost Buffett. We just lost Tony Bennett, too. Bennett was like 99, I think, so. But I heard Buffett. Yeah. Let's go, Sunil. Lock up the Utes. I'm telling you, we got some Utes here. Some Utes. Is it possible the 2 Utes? We got it. Well, we'll see if they finish at sub 500, Sunil. It still remains to be seen. They got, what are they? I think they have 27 games left, so they got a shot at going. I mean, they're going to have to go, I think, 15-12 or 14-13, something like that, 15-12 to make it at least over 500. But we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. They got Tigers coming up for 3. They got the Brewers coming up for 3. So they declared them Yankee Utes. He didn't say it like Joe Pesci did, right? Is it possible to you? To what? What is a Ute? Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Utes. It's a classic scene. Yeah, my cousin Vinny. Classic scene, baby. I love it. I love it. If Gallo here and not did it. Jerry Callow. Jerry Gallo. That's a classic movie. Marissa Tomei won freaking Oscar for that. For supporting actress. 1 out. Ground ball. 1 down in the bottom of the 9th. Take it. It's a classic movie, Anthony. I mean, it's not. It's very hard to not like that movie. It's like, exactly. Is it possible the 2 defendants, and he gave the judge a look like, oh God. Scungillion, I'm curious to know what is going to be quiet. You know, they didn't protect him last year, Chaparro. They didn't protect him in front of Rule 5, and he got unclaimed. But I think this year he would probably get picked up by a team because his bat is taking a step up in the next level. And I think a team would want that bat. So I'm curious to know if they're going to protect him this year. They have to protect Clayton Beater because he, Austin Wells, and Jason Dominguez are the 3 most notable names that are exposed to the Rule 5 draft. So I mean, the roster is going to expand to 28. And Yankees will make another roster move or 2. But they have to have Clayton Beater on the 40-man before the season's up. Or by when the season's up, so that he doesn't get scooped up into Rule 5. So that's one reason why Wells and Dominguez are on the 40-man right now. So, but I'm also glad they're on the 26. Getting a shot. Jonathan, the Yankees are up 5-4 at the bottom of the 9th. We got 1 out. It's 2-2 to Michael Brantley, who just came back, 2nd game this season. So I'm telling you, man, Judge, another nice opposite field shot today. Was that 31 for him, right? 31? Michael Brantley, ground ball to DJ. 2 down. We got 1 out to go. 1 out to go. So, I mean, looks like Yankees got 1 out to go, but they might win at least 2 out of 3 in this series. So, I'll take that. So, I'm glad that my prediction might come true. So, yeah, 2 outs. Joe Pesci should have a roll of base. Could you imagine that? What are you, blind? You didn't see him out? Huh? You just see him arguing with the umpires. Houston has a 6'7" problem. Dominguez is having quality bats. I mean, even Austin Wells, he's having quality bats too. They're staying locked in, right? They're staying focused. They're staying poised. They're staying in their bats. They're fighting to the end. I mean, I like it. They're just better at bats than a lot of other guys are having. So, Yankees, I think, are in a better spot right now with what they're putting on the field. So, and again, all right, it's 3-1, 3-1, 2 outs. 2 is this Yandy Diaz. John Singleton's on deck. I don't know who the hell that is, but Yandy Diaz. 3-2. 3-2. The energy on the team changed. The NFL, you're right. The focus changed. the excitement changed. Like the Utes did. I think they're waking up to veterans, and I think they're reviving them too. So even Stanton walked them. Shit. No, it's 3-2. Excuse me. 3-2. All right, it was 2-2 before. It's full count to Yandy Diaz. Yeah. Most offensive categories in our entire system. Why not? They're not going to phantom up. Home dropped the ball on the ground out. Runner on first for Houston. 11 likes. Yeah, let's get them likes up, gang. Let's get them likes up. When a game's over, people usually hop on in greater numbers. So, and you're not wrong, but I don't think they're going to phantom Miles Stanton. All right, they're not going to do that, Sconjili. But now when he's a home run, one away from 400, they won't do that. Yeah, Holmes dropped that ball. So Holmes he's got to focus here and lock right in. He's got to focus and lock right in now. They just put in a pinch runner, Jake Myers, a little bit more speed at first base. So, and this guy Singleton, I don't know who in the world he is, but he's batting. It's a lefty. John Singleton, 163 batting average, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs, 555 OPS. Those are his numbers. He's a big boy, though. He's a big boy. He is a big boy. So we'll see what he gets here. Let's just buckle down, Clay Holmes, and get this guy out, please. Please, please, please. All right, what do we got here? It's 2 outs, 0-0 count. Let's see what we got. 5-4, 0-1, strike 1. Was he out of MLB for 8 years? Albert. That was a great show back in hey. Said Albert. Oh, God. Bill Cosby had a voice up in there. 1-1. Ball. Back in the pad, Brother Bill. Well, my in-laws' pad. We're putting an addition on our house, so we haven't been living in our house for like 6 months now because the addition's still going on. It's going in phases, but I'm back. I'm out of rehab, Brother Bill. So it's just good to be not a rehab. I'll tell you that much. 1-2. 1-2. The movie. Which movie was good? Fat Albert? I haven't seen Equalizer 3 yet. My wife's going to take me next week. This week? Or my wife's going to take me to see Equalizer 3. And we may do a double whammy next week because my Big Fat Greek Wedding Part 3 comes out. We might see both of them. Oh, foul ball. Okay. Fat Albert movie. Okay. I didn't see that. The show was great. The show is fantastic. Yeah. That Brother Bill, I'm telling you, man, it feels good to not be there. Feels good to be home, man. I don't care what the home is. Feels good to be home. Imagine if they brought the kid. I mean, they brought him up like a week after the deadline. So, well, we don't know, Stephen B. That's the thing. Like, struck him out. Game over. Yankees win. 5-4, baby. Game over. They won the first 2 of 3 against the Houston Astros. Let's freaking go. Keenan Thompson. Keenan Thompson was at the Yankee game the other day at Yankee Stadium. Sitting behind home plate. No stucco lot. Yeah, Lowe's. We got the Lowe's on the back outside. We're still getting siding priced out. Whether it's vinyl, whether it's Jay Hardy or like, and there's a big difference in pricing between the two. So, and the house now we went from 1,700 to 4,000 square feet. So it's big. Yankees just beat the Astros 2 days in a row. I know, Clemenza. Feels good, baby. Now let me go to my conference room. 1 second, gang. But I'm happy to see that our Yankees have won 2 in a row. Yeah. That's nice. I'm going to elevate this thing here. He did, Big Poppy. Yep. Yes, he did. Keenan Thompson's pretty funny. He was in what was that movie? Barbershop 2. Oh, there we go. My man Jim Riley's coming on. All right. Let me just get in my conference room here. Pop my seat. And then we'll get Jim on here in 1 second. I set up my spot. All right. Well, we got a very, very special guest here. We got Jim Riley from Ballcap Sports. And we're celebrating the Yankees. I can't believe the Yankees just beat the Astros 2 games in a row. So, in Houston.
Uh-huh.
I know. Isn't that crazy? Like,
I didn't see it coming, man.
Me neither.
Coming.
I don't mean either.
I don't know, man. Look. This is what happens when you infuse young life into your franchise.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the baseball karma goes your way. This is this is the, well, I mean, you took 3 out of 4 from Detroit, but I mean, you got the Jason Dominguez, the Austin Wells effect. I don't know. Everybody seems to be calling up these kids, and like there's just a spark. And congratulations.
Thank you. And it's good to see a renewed energy and focus on this Yankees team. They seem to be happier and more excited. Like they're just getting more production. The kids are showing they're showing poise, maturity. They're staying in at bats. Like we haven't had guys locked in at bats in a while, so it's nice to see. I hope it stays this way consistently, but
yeah,
we'll see. I mean, we'll see. But I'll take it. I'll take 2 straight wins from the Houston Astros. We got Jim on. We wanted to break down the trade deadline a little bit and waiver wire. What are your thoughts, Jim? I mean, I think the AL West is kind of busy. The Angels made a lot of quantity moves. I think the Astros with Justin Verlander, Texas Rangers with Max Scherzer made some quality moves. So they were pretty busy, the AL West. What are your thoughts on the deadline?
On the deadline, I feel like, I mean, the Rangers made the biggest splash, right, with Montgomery and Scherzer, but that doesn't seem to be working. I don't know. We're at a point now where those deadline winners, I mean, it's one of those things where it's sort of like we need to almost go just back in time and think about like what teams did or didn't do and what do-overs would be made and all of that, because we've now had about a month of play, and I think the Angels would obviously do something different. I think maybe Cleveland would have done something different. Maybe San Diego would have done things different. It's almost like I think the Yankees would have done things differently. There's that we're a month out, and I don't like the talk of moving the trade deadline back. I hope that dies, and it just circles the drain, and then nobody ever talks about it again. I don't know if you're a fan of that. I am not a fan of that. I want you to have to make decisions when it's kind of like I don't want to make it easier. So I kind of want I kind of want pulling the trigger on a trade to be a tough decision.
Yeah, and I kind of want some teams to have a little bit more time with the players they acquire. Sometimes it takes a little bit of an adjustment period. I want to give the player an adjustment period, and again, but you made some good points too. I think the Angels, I understand why they got a lot of quantity. So I think they're trying to do whatever they can to keep Ohtani and make a run, right? But I think Ohtani may have made a miscalculation because they asked him about a month ago, a little over a month ago, to get an MRI, and him and his agent said it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
So, and
that's what the Angels GM said anyway, right?
Yeah.
Do we know if that's true? We know if that's true?
I know. Seriously, I've seen a couple different reports. If it's true, if it's true, then either Ohtani or his agent or both of them may have just cost them maybe $100 million.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know if it's true. I have so many conspiracy theories as far as this Ohtani situation goes through. I don't know if it's true. I want somebody from Ohtani's camp to confirm that. I want somebody from Ohtani's camp to confirm that, because I would not put it past this ass backwards franchise and periodize it to a lie and say just tell them we did it. And we got to cover our ass, because if we don't say we did it, then no pitcher is ever going to want to sign here ever again.
Well,
I have a conspiracy theory around that. Maybe it's fine, maybe it happened, but I don't know.
I mean, it's got some teeth to it, your theory. So, like, and you're right, until they disprove it or whatever, like until they counter it credibly.
Yeah.
This is going to be thought of and discussed and whatnot. But I mean, the fact is, if he needs Tommy John, then he's got to get a Tommy John, right? And again,
Right.
Tommy John recovery period for pitching is different than it is for hitting. But if he wants to remain a two-way player, he's probably going to have to take the longer route. And again,
it'll be his second Tommy John.
Second Tommy John, yeah.
It'll be number 2.
Like, he's an interesting case for me because, and shout out to Morning Brew, shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way, gang. He bats lefty, throws righty. So when he's swinging the bat, a lot of the stress goes on his right arm, his pitching arm, when he's extending the bat. So it's an interesting situation for me. So I wonder if his recovery period will be affected by the second Tommy John. I don't know. I wonder how much longer he's going to be an elite two-way player.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's the question. Whoever is going to try to sign him has to figure out. You know, I mean, because whoever's signing him, you have to figure. I mean, we're talking maybe a 10-year deal here, 8 years, 10 years, whatever it ends up being, whatever it takes to get him. And like, maybe a team doesn't think Ohtani's going to be pitching the back half of that contract. There's a lot of kinks that are going to have to be worked out, because he may only be an effective pitcher for 4 more years.
Yeah.
But this is what he wants to do, right? Like, there was a story, I think it was Steve Gelbs was talking about it, where the reason, originally out of high school, he wanted to come to America and did not want to play in Japan, but the team that he ended up signing with was going to let him pitch and hit. That's what he wanted to do. If he had come to America right away, he was not going to be a two-way player. They were not going to allow him to do that. But there was a team in Japan that allowed him to play both sides, play both ways, and that's how we got to this point. So that's what he wants to do. So what a team wants, and what a team wants, and may almost be irrelevant in this situation. It's like, no, you're going to pay me like I'm hitting and pitching, because I'm not coming to your organization if you're not of the same mindset. I'm pitching and hitting through the life of this contract.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good pitcher, but he's an elite hitter. Like,
yeah,
he's a better hitter than he is pitcher. So, I mean, I would still pay a handsome price for freaking.
I don't know. I feel like that comes and goes. Like, what was it?
For hitting?
The year he won the MVP. Like, he really won the MVP off about a month and a half worth of hitting. He was absolutely insane. I want to say it was like June or July. He went nuts. And then last year's hitting was good. Definitely was good, but it was not to the level it was the year before or this year. And his pitching, I think you could probably argue this has been his best pitching year. And you wonder if that continues. Yeah. Or does he regress to who he was before, where, you can get to him? I don't know. I'm interested to see what the next 3 years hold for him, if he's able to, because this year he was doing both. This year he was an elite pitcher and an elite hitter. Yep. So it was one of those things where it was coming and going.
He's hitting 306 right now with 44 home runs.
Yeah, I mean, he's triple crown. He's in the hunt, and I think that's So this year he's an elite hitter. In 2021, he was an elite hitter, but again, a lot of that was over about a month and a half of time. He had like 20 home runs in a month and a half or something like that. It was insane.
Yeah.
And last year was good, but it wasn't. If memory serves me correctly, it wasn't elite last year, but it can be elite. Here's the thing: it can be elite on both sides of the ball, and that's where if you're signing him, you gotta and you're talking to him, he's going to want to play on both sides, and he's going to want to be paid as if he's elite on both.
Yeah, I think he's going to get between 45 and 50 million a year from somebody.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Somebody, and I'm leaning towards Seattle, but it could be the. I don't know. I don't know who it's going to be. Like some folks can say, make him a closer. I don't think that they're going to limit that to him being a closer. I can't see it. He's going to want starters will get paid more than closers.
Yep.
And so it's going to be interesting to see. I think he's got plenty more years of elite hitting. But the pitching,
yeah, and that's the beauty is when he's coming back from Tommy John, before he's ready to pitch, he can hit.
Yeah,
we're seeing that with Bryce Harper right now. We saw that with Ohtani when he had Tommy John surgery the first time. He can come back and hit before he can pitch. The question is, does the team that invests potentially $500 million in him want him to come back and hit, or do they want him to do both?
Yeah.
That'll be I'm kind of interested to see how that plays out too, because maybe the Dodgers get him and the Dodgers are like, just take 2024 off. We do not want, after we give you $500 million to do both, have you potentially have a setback because you're hitting, coming back from your second Tommy John. We can't lose 2024 and 2025. Just sit out in 2024, rehab, get back. We'll see you in 2025. That's the interesting thing, because he's not having the surgery now, and that's my other conspiracy theory, is that the reason why he's not having it right now isn't that he's going for the Triple Crown. It's that he wants to go through the rehab and that entire process with his new team, because he's gone.
Yeah,
he's not going to be an Angel. So
I think he's going to be an Angel. I think he wants a second opinion, but I think you're right. Like I don't think there's a scenario in the world where he comes back to the Angels. Like,
no, it's done. It's over.
Yeah,
that's done. I mean, you don't need to talk to anybody. Like, it's just the writing is on the wall. He's gone. He will not be an Angel. What'll be interesting is just, what's the offseason like? How many teams are going to be in on him? How long does the process take? Who is, who's maybe worried about the looming Tommy John and all of that, I think that's really a question. I don't think the Angels have a shot. And the most wonderful thing about the whole move that the Angels pulled last week, I'm sure you saw it too, but Richard was the only player not claimed off waivers. Exactly. And his salary kept the Angels above the threshold, so they still only get a 4th round pick. They don't get a 2nd round pick. Karma's a bitch. Artie Moreno, go to hell.
Yeah.
It's awful. I really am. The whole thing I'm fired up. I don't like it. I think it sets a bad precedent. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth. I don't want teams doing this every year. I want a rule to prevent it. I want the commissioner to get off his ass and create a rule where after you trade for any player that you trade for, you cannot put on irrevocable waivers after or before 60-day period. So anybody that you get at the trade deadline, you have to carry them through the rest of the season.
Yeah, and what's the thing about this too? Like, they have to be put on waivers and claimed before September 1st in order to be eligible to be used in the postseason by another team.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, you might as well have a 30-day window. Like, it's just like,
well, but here's the thing. That would create a new trade deadline. That would create if you knew it was 30 days, then all of a sudden the trade deadline may read, August 1st on the calendar, but you'll see a shitload of trades go down on July 25th, so that these teams may have the opportunity to bail out.
Yeah, it's true.
I just don't want to see. I don't want to see I don't like it. I don't know what you think about it. I don't like the salary dump nature of it. I don't like what it says to your franchise. I don't like what it says to your clubhouse. Like if you're a player in the clubhouse and you're like, what the hell? Like if my team did that, I would be worried about the future of my franchise. because I would now feel like, okay, already I kind of felt like this, but now I know this. We're the laughing stock in Major League Baseball. And who's going to want to sign here? Exactly. CWE. Mike Trout may come through this offseason and say, I don't like this at all. This is a clown shoes operation. Trade me.
Yeah.
Like that's what all of this does. And if I'm an Angel fan, I'm kind of worried about not really how I'm viewed throughout the rest of baseball, but just what this means for me as a rooting fan for the next several years, maybe even a decade.
Here come the Phillies. So
Yeah.
scoop them up, man. Mike Trout, he's from freaking Morristown, or Millersville, New Jersey. Like, he's run locally. So,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Well, and Steve Cohen already set the blueprint for how to trade players that have outrageous salaries.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're the Angels, say, hey, Trout, we'll take half the salary. Give us, something good. We'll pay half of however much is remaining, and basically we'll buy a prospect off you for that. I mean, it's the blueprint is there.
Yeah, it's true. Here's another one too by Sean Bryan. What about notifying players about being placed on waivers? Yeah, I mean, this is a baseball rule that people agree with. Like, they're not required to notify a player that they've been placed on waivers. They're only required to notify them if they've been claimed.
Right. Bader saw it on ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, and he was a class act about it. So shout out to Bader for that. Shout out to. But I don't blame the Yankees for it because it's a universal thing. But like, it is a shitty thing. Like,
yeah, I don't know how. Like, I don't know. Do these players have emails? Give everybody a corporate iPhone and get them on us some kind of like group text account or whatever. Wouldn't that be great? Get a group text from the GM from Cash, and it's just like, Bader, you're on waivers, to the group text. I don't know. You would think that they would want to try to do that in better fashion.
Yeah, do something like it's. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's unfortunate.
Well, that just continues to dig at the relationship between the players and the owners / front office, right? It shows you how the players are like, it's a business, right? Like, it is what it is. So, I mean, the Yankees are generally, I think, considered a pretty class act organization. So, it even happens there.
Yeah, and then it does happen there. And at least it wasn't put on waivers the year he was acquired. Like, at least they waited a year for it. But like, and I they're also trying to get under the Cohen threshold, right? So any type of relief, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Want to give him a chance to shorten a playoff run. That was kind of a white flag situation too, I think, for the Yankees. So like saying, all right, we're not going to go to playoffs, so we might as well get something here. And it's not released. Like, if you release a player, you're eating their salary. You put them on waivers, the other team's eating their salary. So there's some differences between the two.
Well, they needed to create room for the youth. Like, it had been long enough.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous that it took as long as it did for Pereira to come up. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I think we talked about this like 2 months ago. I was like, when the hell's Peraza going to play?
Yep.
Well, what do we do? Trade DJ LeMahieu. I don't. What's DJ LeMahieu going to do for you this year and next year? Give Peraza the reps so that if he's going to struggle, he's going to struggle this year when the year's a wash, and then next year he takes a step. Like DJ LeMahieu out there. Okay, great, fantastic, super wonderful.
And they have like Oswaldo Cabrera's kind of stepping up a little bit at third base. Like, I've said this. I argued this the other day. Like, I would be willing to trade Torres. You can get value back for him and put Peraza and let him develop at second base. He's a better defensive player.
Yeah.
And I know with the offense, but it's not like they're forfeiting 40 home runs a year. Torres hits 15 to 20. Volpe just did that. Okay.
Yeah.
Peraza can do that if he's given play. It's not like, again, we're not giving up a 35 to 40 home run guy. We're not giving up Aaron Judge production. That's replaceable production. Okay. and he's a superior defender, Peraza. And if you give him enough time to develop, like they did Volpe, I'm sure you
Yeah.
can get comparable production here. And again, Torres is probably the only guy on the team that's trade value. So you decide, am I going to give him 9 figures next year, or am I going to trade him for a controllable pitcher? Like,
Yeah.
you're going to have to, somebody's going to give him 9 figures. He's getting 9 figures next year.
Yes. No doubt about it. Yeah. Glaber is the tradable asset that the Yankees have. And that's just, I mean, look, maybe they go through a little stretch here and, they find out that Volpe's always going to hit 230. All right. Or they find out that Peraza is just not going to hit or whatever. And then they make a decision and then you're happy that you kept Glaber around. But, there's something to giving those kids the keys and let's see what they can do. And if you can turn Glaber into, Glaber and pieces into Dylan Cease or something like that, then I think you have to look at that.
Mm-hmm. And I think they have them, or pitcher from the Marlins, like Jay Frank here. Yeah, I mean, the
Marlins one's interesting. I don't know. So, what was the trade that Cashman wanted? He wanted Braxton Garrett
and
Cabrera and like 2 other pieces, which was a strong ask. I don't know.
That was a way strong ask for Torres because those guys had like 5 controllable years each or 4.
Yeah.
Like,
that was a.
You got one of those guys for Torres, I'd be ecstatic.
Yeah.
You got one of those and added them to the rotation, but that was a pretty hefty ask.
Maybe Glaber I'm sure the conversations are happening. Maybe Glaber just doesn't get the return.
Yeah.
Like maybe Glaber, maybe like if let's use who's a good example. Let's say I keep going to AL East teams because that's where I truly know the rosters like the back of my hand. Let's say the Padres. Let's say the Yankees are talking to the Padres and the Padres are like, okay, we'll give you Seth Lugo. Like maybe they just don't get anything good in return when they have those conversations. Yeah. That's got to be part of what's going on.
Yeah, and I think one of the problems is 2 problems. As he's very streaky, it's hot, very cold, it's very inconsistent. But I also think his defense kind of negatively counters his offense. Mm-hmm. So I think it can hurt himself in a couple different ways.
And I wonder if teams are worried about how he'll play when he's not playing half his games in Yankee Stadium and he doesn't have the short porch. There may be teams that are worried about how he'll play when he can't shoot the ball the other way and pop a home run, out to the short porch. And even in Boston, when he plays a considerable number of road games in Boston, you can pop one over that short fence in right field in Boston. So maybe, I don't know. I mean, if you were, would you do straight up Cabrera for Glaber? Is that not enough?
Edward Cabrera, I think it's enough. I would have done one of those.
Just straight up 1 for 1.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah. A pitcher with 5 controllable years for a hitter with 1. Yeah, I would have done that.
Yeah.
At this point, we knew like the starting pitcher was no longer the strength. Really, I was carrying the team. Like, there's too many. It's Cole and everybody else. So we honestly, I think this offseason, if they're going to go with this youth movement, I think they need to invest in starting pitching and surround Cole with some reliable starting pitching.
Right.
Dunn's upside, but he hasn't shown the consistency yet.
No.
I think Severino and I think Herman are gone.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to replace both of them. Okay?
Well,
whether it be Aranola, Yamamoto, Blake Snow, like a combination of something. Like this Japanese pitcher is 25, and he's supposed to be posted. So, and the Yankees just brought in a Japanese executive to kind of get them back into the Asian market. So I'd be at the very least looking into that.
Yeah, I think they can land based on the money situation right now. The estimated payroll this year is at 273, and you got
about 70 million coming off the books.
Is it 70 when you add up the expiring arbitration and Severino?
Yep.
So yeah, I mean you can go out there.
You can get 2 starting pitchers. Like you can get that. Aaron Nola is probably going to run about 20 million a year.
Yep. Yeah, if Rodon got 22 and 27, 22 this year, and then 27 all every year after that. Yeah, I think Nola's probably in the same ballpark. I mean, Nola hasn't had the best year, so maybe he's a little less than Rodon. Rodon was coming off an amazing year, so maybe Nola is right around that 20 to 23 range.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy. He's a reliable pitcher, an innings eating pitcher. And I think we need guys like that to keep us in the game, put us in position. And him and
Yeah.
I mean, Blake Snell's going to probably get 25 million a year. So I think, and with the year off he's coming, but like a
You
young
guys, Blake Snell would be a disaster with New York. I hope that Cashman knows that.
I worry about Snell. I would rather.
Oh yeah, you have to. He's too streaky. He's too streaky, and like he would get crushed by that fan base.
Yeah, if he came back to the AL, I think he would struggle.
I think I can't imagine him being with the Yankees. I think that would be one to stay away from.
Yeah, same. I mean, like here we go. Sean Browning to put on like Yamamoto, the pitcher, Nola, starting pitcher, and the Korean outfield, the Hungju Lee. Like, there's a discussion to have for Cody Bellinger, but he's parlaying a good year into a monster contract. Doing the perfect timing, right? He's got represented by
Yes.
He's going to get at least 25 million a year, probably for 6-7 years. They're already looking at the Chris Bryant contract as the benchmark. So, and he's younger than Chris Bryant. So, if you can get that Korean outfielder who's drawing comparisons to Ichiro, and, you put him at the top as a leadoff hitter or something like this, like the Red Sox have done with the Japanese player that they just got. I forgot his name. The guy that just got last year. So you do the same type of thing here. Then you can have Hope. You can have Dominguez. Like, you could set up the power guys.
Right.
And he finds a way to get the ball in play. He's got speed. He's got a good, accurate arm in the outfield.
Yeah.
He's a mentally sound player. And he would cost maybe not even half the price of a Bellinger. So that's the type of situation I would look into. So, if you get a Yamamoto and the Korean outfielder, you can get two for the price of one Bellinger. So, that's the way I was looking if I'm the Yankees.
I'm just looking at the starting pitching market for next year. I feel like it's
Nola's one. He just stands out to me. Nola.
I know it feels like it. I feel like it's Nola or bust.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't want to get it. I don't know. Nola, you know how Philly fans can be.
Yeah.
Philly fan, I don't like Snell in New York. I don't like Arias in New York.
That's it.
I don't like Erod. Giolito. I mean,
I think
Stroman, Montgomery's not coming back. It really does feel like it's
Nola's used to playing in a tough market.
Yeah, right. That's exactly it. It feels like it's Nola. You know who might be an interesting grab if they can get him for cheap and it's sort of a back of the rotation ad? Hyunjin Ryu could be interesting because I don't think that that market would bother him at all. He's very tough mentally.
Yeah,
so
he's unflappable.
He wouldn't be a big ad. He wouldn't cost a ton of money. He would be a back of the rotation guy, maybe even a 1-year deal. But if you had Ryu for the back of that rotation, let's say you did, if you're the Yankees and you have a rotation next year of Cole, Rodon, Nola, Schmidt, and Hyunjin Ryu.
I'd take that.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. So I don't think you need to go and get two, and if not Nola, the Japanese pitcher. So I don't think you need to go crazy and get two of the top starting pitchers. I think if you grabbed one, Nola or the Japanese starting pitcher, and then somebody down that list, and really the guy further down the list is Hyunjin Ryu. I don't know if I would touch anybody else down there.
Yeah, the list is it's deep, but it's a little spotty.
It's a lot of, I mean, exactly. And this is New York that we're talking about.
Yep.
This isn't San Francisco. This isn't Toronto. This isn't right. This is not a market that will forgive you. The New York market, I mean, you're always on a short leash with that fan base. And, I mean, all fan bases will listen, Blue Jays Nation, we will get on somebody that if they're struggling, like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. this year, Blue Jay fans are frustrated. But if this was New York, he'd be getting booed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alek Manoah was getting booed a little bit. If this was New York, Alek Manoah would have been getting booed mercilessly.
Yeah.
So there's a different a level there.
Yeah, it is a different level. I mean, I'm like, I get demolished by comments and like just for giving Brian Cashman credit for something or doing
Yeah.
they do something right.
Right.
And like this morning, I put out a video and and I said, Volpe, Judge, Martian, Wells. I mean, great and exciting to be this part of this movement. They all have one thing in common. They were all brought here by Brian Cashman.
Yeah.
And
but there's a good portion of the fan base that does not care.
The haters, I said, guys,
well,
there's an ointment for that, okay? Like,
yeah. It's because the expectation level is to win the World Series.
Yeah, and I think it's for people to realize our expectation is not their obligation.
Okay? Sure. Yeah.
And that's a perspective I don't think people care about, but it's important to me. Like some people, they're obligated to this. Well, they're not obligated to be transparent with us. Just like we're not obligated to spend a lot of money on their tickets or MLB TV, but we do. It's our choice, our decision to do it.
Sure.
So, and I think it's a tough punch. I mean, a tough thing to say, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yeah.
So, would we like for them to be more transparent? Of course.
Yeah.
But again, that's not the reality. I mean, that's why. I mean, at least to me, like, I kind of, and like I mean, well enough to know, like, I play both sides. Like, I give the good and the bad because I think it's important to give the people the full story. Like, if I know the full story, I'm not going to give people half of it.
Yeah.
Just my side. I want them to know both sides so they can make a better formulate their opinion. I feel like I'm cheating them if I'm depriving them of information. So like, and that's why I get a lot of, "Are you a Cashman lover? You're a Boone lover," and blah blah blah, because I don't trash them on a daily basis. But again, like we can shit on Cash, but who at that level could replace the guy? Theo Epstein, like.
Right.
It's like he's being groomed to be the next commissioner. Like, who in the world are we going to place Cashman? Like,
yeah, there's maybe one or two guys, and if you can't get those guys, you have to stick with them.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's like it's a very tough question. It's a very tough situation. And again, like, okay, maybe they promote him to baseball operations president or whatever, and you bring in Jeter as a GM. But at that point, you're going to have to give GM full carte blanche. First of all, let's just say that happened. You're gonna have to give him full carte blanche and no interference and let him do his thing. We can't have that.
I've heard a couple times the whole Jeter stuff. Like,
I think it's a bad idea.
I think it would be a disaster.
I don't think he wants to tarnish any of his Hall of Fame legacy either. If it doesn't work out, like I don't think I don't want Jeter as a GM.
No, he's a very calculated individual. Why do you think he went to Miami?
Yep.
Why do you think he went to Miami, not to New York? No, I think that could be a mess.
It could be a disaster, especially if it doesn't pan out. Like, it's crazy. Like we got Cashman's the worst GM of all time. Well, couldn't be further from the truth.
CWE. I can't. I mean, listen, man. He can't say that.
People are entitled to their opinions, but our opinions don't change the facts. So
yeah. There are way worse GMs.
Oh God,
there are way worse GMs. The Mets have a claim to one of the worst GMs.
Oh God, yeah. Who's now with the Yankees? Omar Minaya. It was like a disaster with the Mets. Disaster.
I know.
But it's just you never really know.
Yeah.
He knows the Yankee way. He's going to be harder to replace than people think. Much harder.
I think there's a chance he retires from that position. I don't know if he's ever fired. I think if anything, he would retire, step down, transition into a role. So what you do have to do is you have to start thinking about who's going to replace him, and can you bring can you bring somebody along in the organization so that when it's time for him to move on, there's been a process started. So I think really the thought shouldn't be we need to replace him. The thought should be we need to get his replacement in-house working underneath him. And
I know. And as much as we have Brian Sabian here and people, I know he was instrumental in drafting Nicole Ford. This is not 25 years ago, Brian Sabian. This is a different Brian Sabian. Okay. And it's a different process. Like, we don't know. Like, we're already hearing from Cashman that him and Minaya are going to have a little bit bigger roles next year. Okay, good. And maybe they'll have an opportunity to do some things without being blocked by Hal or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
There's no guarantee that we could replace him with Sabian and it's going to be roses just because he won with the Giants.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done. It really is. It really, really is.
I want the Yankees to just the lineup that we have. When's Glaber coming back? What's the deal?
Glaber's got one more season, and then he's a free agent after 2024.
No. He's got there's an injury note on him. I didn't see this. I've been sort of
back spasms.
Back spasms. Okay. So like the lineup right now, I was saying it like 3 months ago that the Yankees just felt like it was in this like weird transition mode where you had a lot of aging veterans and fill-in guys where you soon should have, the future of the franchise, prospects that make their way up, and they just weren't calling them up. It was taking, a long time for them to make the decision to give Peraza the playing time, to give Dominguez the call up and Pereira the call up and Wells the call up. Now that they're here, like, I would just like to see what this team does for the rest of this season.
Yeah.
And don't screw around out of spring training. This group of guys should be playing every day next April, May, June. Like, grab a couple veterans that maybe fit around these guys. Because right now, think about it. Like, if Pereira starts to get it, if Wells gets it, if Dominguez if you start to see some of these guys get it, you can see like this lineup could be really good as long as the young players transition well. And then you have a nice mix of youth and veteran.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the formula right now. You can't go heavy vets and big fat bloated contracts. You have to have a nice mix. And I feel like if those kids can come along and progress, then the Yankees would have a nice mix. And the lineup would actually look amazing if these guys progress this time, when we get to May or June, this lineup could be one of the most dangerous lineups in baseball if those players progress.
Yeah. And again, like, you could infuse like some affordable veterans like Candelario, right? Something like that.
You've got DJ. You still have DJ, right? And DJ can move around the infield. You got a couple years of DJ LeMahieu, so you've got him. Rizzo has
one more year.
Rizzo's got another year, so you have DJ and Rizzo. I would love it if DJ LeMahieu just goes into a super utility role.
Me too.
And is the first man off the bench when somebody gets hurt, right? Because Judge and right, Glaber at second, Stanton DHing, Dominguez at center, Volpe at short, Wells catching, in a platoon role with whoever else is catching. Pereira, Peraza. I like that they're using Oswald Peraza at third. I mean, get him as many reps as possible.
Yeah.
And that's the crew I want out there. So if I'm grabbing anybody off the free agency when it comes to that, I'm either looking for a major upgrade, like a superstar, or I'm looking for some really smart moves that can add depth to the team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get into a situation like the Mets did this year, where the Mets went out and they got too many of those depth and extra guys. They played them too much, right? Tommy Pham, Daniel Vogelback, Mark Canha was prior, but you had all of these aging veterans that blocked the youth. And I'm not saying it would have worked out, because I know that Mark Canha has had, or not Mark Canha, Vientos has had his struggles. Beatty had his struggles. But I just want to see. I would hate for the Yankees to go down a road where they sign, Jaimer Candelario, Tommy Pham, um, Charlie Blackmon, right? And then next thing you know, you're like, well, shit, we got to play all these guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jason, it was fun in September, but you're going to start the year in the minors because we signed Charlie Blackmon and Tommy Pham and Hunter Renfroe, and they got to play.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're going after freaking Juan Soto, like.
Right, that's what I mean. Unless you're going after a superstar, don't mess around with it.
Yep.
Right? Like that's it. And I really do. Like, I don't want to mess it up. Like, I feel like your first base can be a platoon of Rizzo and LeMahieu. LeMahieu can play everywhere as well. Judge is your right fielder. I think you need to have a good fourth outfielder in case he gets hurt. I think every year you need to build in a plan where he's going to miss 50 games. And if he doesn't miss 50 games, then great. But you need to have a backup plan for that. So you need to have a good backup outfielder. Right now, they don't have one. So I think that you need that. Whatever you do with Glaber, at this point, Peraza is going to be your third baseman. Okay, whatever you got to do. But I want to make sure that Peraza's playing. I want Pereira playing, Dominguez playing, Volpe playing. I want Wells in a rotation, however you need to figure it out with Higgy and Rortvedt or whatever you want to do. I don't want guys like IKF stealing at bats. I don't want Jake Bauers stealing at bats. I don't want any of that shit.
Billy McKinney.
Right. No, we're done. That does not need to happen.
Yeah, and the same applies from like the Blue Jays too. Like having this young nucleus gives them an idea in your game regular of how to attack free agency. It gives them a better idea of what the hell they actually need to complement the guys and what these guys can actually do. Like getting the right fits here in free agency is important. That way they're not sitting $20 million players or whatever it might be. Like I said, like if they're going to go heavy on the offense, then I'm investing in some pitching. So complement the offense. Like that's where you want to spend your money. Fine. Fine. Like you said too, like a high-end pitcher and maybe a Rio, and you add a good reliable late inning reliever.
Right.
And I think they're in pretty good shape. And then some competent guys, like a guy that's okay, who's still productive, not like a fourth outfielder, who's okay not playing every day, but still can be productive.
Right. So, right. The Blue Jays went into the season with that thought process in mind. That was essentially you had their outfield was going to be Springer, Kiermaier, Varsho, and they had the ability to who am I blanking on? Springer, Kiermaier, Varsho. Yeah, Whit Merrifield you could work out there. There's somebody why am I blanking on somebody here?
What are we thinking here?
No, I think I must be thinking of who am I?
Wasn't Kiermaier thought of as like the fourth guy?
No, Kiermaier was always going to be the center fielder.
Okay.
I think when he was first signed, a lot of people thought he would be the fourth outfielder, but he was always going to be the starting center fielder in my mind, and then that's kind of how it played out. So you had Kiermaier at center. I don't know. I guess I'm thinking of
God, what was his name? Former
No,
Royals.
you know what it was? This is what it was. It was
From the Royals.
it was the right, yeah, Whit Merrifield I figure was going to get a ton of reps at second. It was the Brandon Belt edition. So what they did was they afford with those three outfielders, they had them locked in, and then there was an area for one more guy to be the DH that could work into first to give Vladdy a day off, or they could go get another outfielder. What they chose to do is they chose to go the Brandon Belt route. I think they had some other irons in the fire, but it ended up being Brandon Belt where they made the move. And Brandon Belt is basically been DH in first base. I know Brandon Belt in the past played a little bit of outfield, but those days are in the past. So you had the ability to add an extra bat, and that was your DH spot. What the Blue Jays did is they left themselves rather thin on that bench. And that sort of crept up. A lot of Jays fans wanted AJ Pollock when AJ Pollock was still out there. at the trade deadline, there was a lot of movement in the direction of bringing Teoscar Hernandez back. But, they ended up, because Bo went down, they went and traded for Paul DeJong, who they then, released. So you got to have that. And the Yankees are in a spot now where this free agent class, I'm looking at that extra outfield spot. Like, what if you got, this would be crazy. He's got to play too much. I was going to say Jock Peterson, but Jock Peterson's got to play. Jock Peterson can't be the fourth outfielder. Jock Peterson has to be your fourth outfielder DH, right?
Yeah.
There's
too much value.
There's too much value. There's got to be somebody that fits that role. Maybe it's Charlie Blackmon at this point in his career. Charlie Blackmon's your fourth outfielder / DH on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, I think it's a situation now where if something like that happens and they bring somebody in who's productive, then maybe Pereira becomes expendable. Like, they're at the point now where they have enough outfield depth to afford making one of these kids expendable if need be, because they can replace him easily, just like they do with the infielders. All these infielders, now they have a bunch of outfielders where they can do the same thing. So could they move a Pereira if it need be for pitching or whatever? They have some now. But again, like, I'm still looking at this Korean outfielder, Jonathan Lee. Like, I'm still looking at this guy because I think he's going to have more value than our kids.
Right.
Come from KBO2, one of the top, baseball organizations out there. Like, and with his skill set, I think he'd be a prototypical left fielder and would allow the Martian to play center field. So, and then you can have Pereira as the fourth outfielder since he's a young kid. I mean, I'd be fine. I'd be okay.
D-Rod. I just saw D-Rod's comment about Blackmon shaving the beard. I retract my statement because I don't want Charlie Blackmon to have to shave that beard. So I retract. I do not want Charlie Blackmon signing with the New York Yankees. I'm going to go Robbie Grossman. There you go.
Oh, Grossman. Okay. All right.
I got to get, we got Charlie Blackmon cannot shave that beard. Charlie Blackmon, if he goes anywhere, he needs to go to like Boston. Doesn't he feel like a Boston guy? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's that team from what was it, like 10 years ago where they all grew beards. They all grew the hockey playoff beards.
I feel like I need to go watch the movie The Town right now, Ben Affleck, because you're bringing me back here.
Right. Blackmon to Boston would be something.
It would be a logical fit. It'd be a nice fit.
Yeah.
But like, how about a reunion with Luke Voigt? Well, here's my thought on Luke Voigt. I don't think it's a good idea with number one, but like Austin Wells, I haven't. They're giving Austin Wells reps. They've given him. He's one of these. The Yankees farm hasn't been this deep in a while, and they haven't had this many players who have this positional versatility in a while. Austin Wells is one of them. He could also be a Rizzo replacement in 2024.
Yes.
And they can bring him somebody like Ben Rice, who's right behind Austin Wells right now in terms of the catching prospect hierarchy.
Yeah.
And maybe they have Rice and Wells here. And they both.
Well, Wells is not going to be. I think Wells is going to tire, especially with the new rules. I don't think Wells works well behind the plate.
I think
in his career.
I think first base, he profiles better for me. Offensively, I think he profiles better long-term at first base.
100%. He is not a defensive catcher. He does not profile with a strong arm, does not profile well just with catcher fielding metrics and all of that from scouting departments and scouting grades. So I don't think Wells is a long-term catcher unless he drastically improves, works on his long toss. Get out there. Like, come on, let's get that arm strength up. Just go play long toss with your. I don't know what you got to do, but I think that he's probably moving to first base. So that's why, right? Like first baseman. I don't know. Listen, first base next year, it's Rizzo and DJ. Like that, I think is the majority out of the 162 games. I think those two players will play first base 150 of those games, and they'll work Wells in occasionally. Yeah. The only way it's any less than that is if there's an injury.
And I hope, DJ and Rizzo are going to be a little bit older, 35, 36. So like, The
Yeah.
chance of them having some type of injury is fair.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
Making a guy like Wells a little bit more of a logical fit to get reps at first base. But we'll see.
Exactly. No, you're right. 100, you're right. 100%. There's an interesting, like, Mitch Garver is somebody that would be interesting to me as a New York Yankee.
Garver, huh?
Mitch Garver is in Texas right now, and Mitch Garver can hit.
Yeah.
So I feel like for a 1-year situation, Mitch Garver back there, because here's what the reason why I'm thinking about this, and I'm not sure about Rortvedt and Higashioka, and who else am I thinking of? Trevino's contracts, if they're locked in beyond this year. If they're locked in on this year, then forget what I'm about to say. But if you need a catcher, Garver should be cheap, and what he can provide is rather quality. And you could have Wells and Garver, and if you had Garver, that would give Wells an adequate, a more than adequate backup to maybe get some reps at first base.
Yeah, that makes sense. And again, like Higashioka, I think is movable. He's got one more year left before he's a free agent. I think he's going to have a little bit of trade value, so they might move him.
Yeah,
I could see the logic keeping Rortvedt.
you keep him. You keep
Blocker
him.
and pitch framer, and like his blocking skills are great. His defensive skill, and he connects well with the pitcher. So I
Yeah,
would keep him as a platoon for Garver, or as a platoon with Wells or whatnot. And again, I think at this point, I think Trevino's movable.
hmm
I like Trevino, but he might be moved. He might be
you
moved.
got. It's an interesting one. Trevino, and they both have one more year of arbitration.
Yep.
Is that right? Or at least I know Higashioka has one more year.
Trevino might
Trevino
have
has
two.
two more. Trevino has two more.
I think Nestor Cortez also has two more. So
I feel like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this year catchers, the ability, like pop times and arm strength and all of that has become even more important than it ever was before, because you have to be able to throw runners out. You have to have a strong arm. You got to be, your pitcher can only make 2 pickoff attempts. How do you
true.
get another? How do you get a third pickoff attempt? You have a catcher with a strong arm that can do a snap throw over to first base.
Yep.
So there is such value and that's why I think Wells is probably in today's game a future first baseman, unless he can upgrade those skills, because you'll take Trevino, you'll take the better framer, I mean, it's just the work behind the dish now is more important than it has been in a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, Mark is like saying, Rourke, can't. We don't need him to hit. If you got somebody like Garvey, you have somebody like Wells who can hit. This guy's our framer. He's our defensive guy. And
Yeah.
again, he doesn't. We don't need a Gary Sanchez rocket arm, but he's got a quick release from catching, which also can help offset not having a rocket for an arm. So he gets the ball to the base,
Right.
and he comes with the pitcher. So his skill set might be a little bit different
Right.
than your hitting first catcher, which
Yeah.
is Austin Wells and some other guys guard. So I think a compliment between the two.
Yeah.
I think Rortvedt would help balance out a Wells or a Garver, somebody like that.
Yeah.
So, so there we go. What about Matt Chapman? Matt Chapman, I think he's gonna make between 20 and 25 million a year. He's gonna be pricey. Montgomery, he's been a steady guy. I don't know if he has the appetite to re-sign with the Yankees, though. I don't know.
No, I don't think so either. Mark Feinsand ranked Matt Chapman as the 3rd best free agent in
Yeah,
baseball.
he's gonna get paid.
He's going to get paid, but dude, as a Blue Jay fan, I love his defense. I won't miss him.
I agree.
I won't miss him. And that's me being a harsh fan, because I do think there's a lot of Jays fans that will miss Matt Chapman, will miss that defense. I'm sure I will miss that defense. I will miss the 10 extra outs that I get at third base with him being over there. But you know what I won't miss? The 100 extra outs he provides with his flimsy ass bat half the time. I won't miss that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I think he's going to get a 9-figure deal or close to it from somebody. Like,
His age is going to throw things off a little bit because he's a little older. So he may. I don't know if he does. He may find himself with like a 4-year, $20 million a year deal.
could.
Right, like and with a 5th-year option, with a BS option, right, where really the only payday is the buyout. So that's the number you look at because the option's always garbage unless it's a player option. The option is BS. So
Yeah,
you've got a
team
you've right, team option is a free agent year, as for the most part, and especially at that age that he will be for a 5th year. That team option, that is a free agent bullseye year. I think that's so I could see him getting 4 at 20 a year with a team option for a 5th year at like 25 with a $7 million buyout or something like that.
yeah,
Like there, I just gave you the framework for the Matt Chapman deal. You heard it here first. When he signs that in 3 months, that's you can remember you heard from me.
Damn, he's number 3 already. Good God. Damn, number 3. Jesus.
Isn't that crazy? I think the list is flawed. I think the list is. I think that the pitching, he overlooked a lot of the pitching. I don't know if I've got that readily available. You don't have it up, do you?
The MLB trade. Have these. That's right.
Here it is. Top 10. This is from
Bellinger.
August 29th. Top 10 for this offseason plus a wild card as it slowly loads on my computer.
I was loading too. Yeah.
Come on, MLB.
I know.
What is everybody trying to get to watch this Braves and Dodgers game? And the whole rest of the damn site's down. Here we go. Ohtani's at 1, Bellinger's at 2. That's easy. We get that, right? So after Ohtani and Bellinger, he's got Chapman 3rd.
And that pitcher is 4th, right? The Japanese pitcher.
No, he's got Blake Snell 4, Josh Hader 5, Julio Urias 6, Aaron Nola 7, Erod 8, Giolito 9.
Giolito 9. What in the goddamn? How is he ahead of the Japanese pitcher?
This offseason for content creation, I mean, the bonus is Yamamoto. That was the bonus guy. So he didn't rank him. Yamamoto's number 3.
Yeah.
So Yamamoto's number 3. I think Aaron Nola is number 4.
Yeah.
Where's he got here? He had Aaron Nola 7. Julio Urias. I mean, yeah, Julio Urias is probably top 10. Hader's top 10, but like, we got to move some pieces around here, and Lucas Giolito cannot be in the top 10. Jordan Montgomery has to be ahead of Lucas Giolito.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Where's the I just had, damn it, I'm opening up too many tabs now. I'm grabbing too many tabs. I want to get back to the free agent list because I guarantee you there's better MLB free agents 2023.
Yeah, I have that open to one of my tabs. The ton of free agents.
So I would rather have, let's think, like I kind of think I'd rather have Rhys Hoskins over Lucas Giolito.
Yeah.
I think Justin Turner is going to opt out of his deal. I'd rather have Justin Turner. Yeah. I might rather have Teoscar Hernandez than Lucas Giolito. Yeah. Let's go to the pitchers. I might want. I mean, he did have Eduardo Rodriguez, so he did have opt-out guys. I think I'd rather have Marcus Stroman than Lucas Giolito.
So yeah, I would. Yeah, I'll take Stroman over Giolito. Me too.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I gotta start thinking about this because every year I do a top 10 free agents with my predictions, and I do the top 3 at each position. And it's early still. We just got into September. Usually I start working on that during the playoffs, but it is that top 10. That top 10 is very suspect.
Yeah, I mean,
or sus, as the kids say.
Yeah, it is sus, man. I mean, Jesus, like Nola, get Kershaw. I mean, even Kershaw on the back end of his career.
Right. I'd rather have Kershaw. I'd rather have a 1-year deal of Clayton Kershaw than 5 years of Lucas Giolito.
God, yeah.
Sorry, Luke.
Yeah. Man, Jesus. God.
You know what's going to happen? The Blue Jays are going to sign Lucas Giolito, and I'm going to have to eat my words. Because they're going to trade Jose Barrios, and they're going to trade Jose Barrios and Yusei Kikuchi for, to San Francisco for somebody. Yeah. They're gonna trade pieces away, and they'll be like, "Oh, we're good because we're gonna sign Lucas Giolito. It's gonna be okay."
Oh man,
Dude, how you feeling? By the way, I saw that you were dealing with some medical stuff. You doing okay?
Yeah, I had a cerebellum stroke. I had a blockage on this side, which affected my balance.
Yeah.
Well, I was in the hospital for a week and a rehab for 3 weeks. So I'm back home now.
Yeah.
And I'm working on getting the legs to 100%. Everything else is 100%. So. But,
no worries about a repeat, because sometimes you have one of those things that there's like a second one not too far away.
There's always a worry about a repeat, but
yep.
The good thing for me is, I eat clean. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I work out. My panels are clean.
Yeah.
My blood pressure is back to normal. Cholesterol is normal. So all the red flags are gone.
That's good.
Which is good. And then, again, I'll keep it. I have to make some slight modifications to the diet, and like seasoning and shit like that, and like sodium with certain things. But
oh shit, what are you gonna do with the steak now? You got to take it easy on seasoning the steak or the or your corn on the cob. you can't load it up with salt and pepper now.
I'm telling you, man, I gotta grill my steaks. All right.
Yep.
And some moderate season. I'll just eat them less often.
Yeah.
Just I'll stick with fish and chicken, and then when I'm really in the mood, I'll pound the ribeye. But
there you go. Yeah.
I just got to make some modifications to make sure
it
doesn't happen again.
No, yeah, you got to watch that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not doing any of the.
Well, that stuff can kind of that can be that can kind of creep up out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
I wasn't diagnosed with anything, and it did. So one day I was just with my girls watching my girls, and all of a sudden I started getting dizzy, and I couldn't stand up straight. And I started puking.
No, there's no family history. There's no family history or anything like that.
There was family history with hypertension on my dad's side, but I was never diagnosed with any of that stuff. So.
But no, any like stroke related stuff.
No. There's also family history on my dad's side of abusing the body, which I don't do either. So
right.
So it was a different It's just if it can hit me, it can hit anybody else. So it's just the way.
Yeah, totally. No, 100%. My uncle had my uncle was dealing with a stroke about a year ago, and it came completely out of nowhere. He's a healthy dude. Yeah, he goes kayaking all the time. He eats well, and it just kind of popped up out of nowhere.
Same thing with me. I'm like, when the hell's this? And then but thankfully, I got it there quickly. And I.
That's important. Yep. Yeah. Get to it quick.
Yeah, getting out of there, and I got to it quick. I took, I jumped on it. And I'm doing all the things I need to do for physical therapy, and I hate needles, so they were blood drawing me every day, and I'm like, I fucking hate that stuff. So
right,
rehab. So and there was weekly blood draws, and people were sticking me and not getting it, and I was like, come on, guys.
Oh no!
I have 15 years experience. You're not getting the vein, so find me a place, please.
That's terrible.
You're bruising my arms. You're sticking me 5 times and you can't get it. So somebody found it here, at my wrist area, and they took it. In 20 seconds, they had all the blood, and it was done. And I said, okay, no, you're never sticking me here again.
One of the most underrated things in life are people that are good at drawing blood, because if you get somebody who sucks at that job, oh man!
I had 4 of them at the hospital. I'm like, can any of you guys draw blood, please?
Right. No doubt about it.
Yeah, and then
no doubt about it.
Here, and she's like, Put the tourniquet. Oh, look at that big vein. Oh, and it was done. Like and they had everything you needed. And I said, this is the only place she's getting me now.
Yeah,
Anybody.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, and the doctor was like, it doesn't matter if it's here or there. It's the same blood. So like it
Right,
doesn't.
right.
So this is my spot now. It's an
That's
nephew.
it.
Everybody else. Not
There you
sticking.
go.
Forget that. No.
Nope. That's crazy.
Mm,
Well, I'm
forget that.
glad you're doing. I'm glad you're doing better.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. It's. I mean, it was tough. Like I was doing videos from the hospital, so and it's from
That's
the
why I saw it. I saw that. I was like, "What is he doing?" It's like, "Oh my god, what happened?" And then I don't know, somehow, somewhere, like I saw maybe you posted something somewhere on Twitter or on the YouTube community or somewhere. I was like, oh shoot, oh,
yeah.
I
It
see what
came out
happened.
of
Now I know what
nowhere.
happened.
And again, it can happen to
Yeah,
anybody. It's just
exactly.
so you just got to make sure that it's doesn't happen again. But
Hmm.
Tyler, thank you, man, for the super chat. What do you got? Your off-season plan: Torres, King, Cabrera, Higgy to the Marlins. Wait, Gleyber Torres, Michael King, Oswaldo Cabrera, and Higashioka to the Marlins for Braxton Garrett and Eduardo Cabrera. Yeah, that's a pretty big trade. And then Juan Soto. So you want to get two pitchers for the Marlins, and then you want to get Juan Soto.
He's gonna spin Cabrera back in that trade.
Oh shit! Look at this. Juan Soto for Pereira, Edward Cabrera. Oh yeah, okay.
Now, no,
So
no, no, no,
you're gonna end up with one
Tyler,
instead of two.
Tyler. Here's the thing. Keep if you want to do that first trade, that second trade, wait for Juan Soto to be a free agent.
Yeah.
Because if you have the opportunity to sign Juan Soto and have Everson Pereira, Edward Cabrera, Nestor Cortez, and Chase Hampton, Tyler Hardman,
Oh shit.
wouldn't you rather have those players and Juan Soto? And it just maybe that means that in 2024 is the year where all of those young players develop and you can still have some fun baseball. Like you just put the World Series aspirations on the shelf for a year, have a ton of fun watching those young players develop, and then go sign Juan Soto in the offseason. That's what I would do. That first trade, if you could pull that off, go for it. But that second trade, I'd hold off. I wouldn't trade for Juan Soto. I would just bring him in via free agency.
It's going to cost a lot. But could you imagine
Um,
adding Braxton Garrett, Cabrera, and then Yamamoto too? So, like that's a beast addition for your rotation. Like you're talking like Atlanta Braves in the '90s back
mhm.
in their rotation. Like that's the type of juice you'd have in your rotation there.
Yeah,
Candelario,
I would like that.
Hater. I mean, if he's willing to cut his hair, Hater could be a beast. He's pretty nasty in the late innings. So and the Yankees need a guy.
Mhm.
Too many implosions from Clay Holmes, too many implosions from Tommy Kahnle. So you add a guy like Hater, man.
Mhm.
That's a nasty bullpen. Talbot, man, I like where your head is at, dude. Thank you for the super chat too. But that's a wild ass off season, man. Yeah, Juan Soto.
Tyler is creative.
Yes, he is. He always brings the trades, man. He always. Diet is important. Will exercise. I exercise religiously, TD. I'm avid martial artist and fitness enthusiast, so I work out on the regular. I work out on the regular. So and
You got another super chat like 4 or 5
oh my
right after that.
damn, my consigliere. This is my Tom Hagen. Right here, Joel. To your health, Don Corleone and the Yankee Eye. Brother, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. To everybody's health. You keep recovering. He had consigliere Joel, he had surgery on his rotator cuff, so he's recovering as well.
Oh, yeah, recover, get strong, get better.
Keep getting better. Keep getting better. Like really.
Mhm. Mhm.
Your recovery is always important, man. And do all the little things. So, but I appreciate it, man. He's my consigliere, my Tom Hagen, he's my Silvio. So, my Silvio, and
Nice.
my Tom Hagen. So, and we have this
Mhm.
we have almost a Corleone family. We got Texas Buckeye, who's Sonny, he's the fighter in the Corleone family. Then we have Billy
Okay.
Branch, who's Clemenza. So we have a Corleone family here. And we got
Nice.
NFE. my fellow martial arts enthusiast,
Love it.
my fellow jujitsu practitioner.
There it
So
is.
we got a pretty wicked family here.
There you go.
Wicked family. And if
I
anybody
like
is not supporting Ballcap Nation, please do. By the way, we collab well, but he's got a great channel too. So it's definitely great.
Thank you.
For my support.
Yeah. I was hoping these collabs were going to go down a different road. Like we would have like so much to talk about. We'd have like all this postseason and playoff and like pennant race stuff. That's, I mean, look, it's just not happening. And I don't feel good about my team's chances. Like the only way the Blue Jays make the playoffs if the Texas Rangers continue to fall and don't know how to play.
I wish both of our teams were in a better position. We'd be talking about them a whole lot more often. So like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, I mean, the Orioles and the Rays. All right. And
yeah.
I see the Braves. Okay, I can see the logic when talking about the Braves. I see the Marlins kind of doing their thing, but like I thought, and both of us thought, the Blue Jays and the Yankees would be in better positions.
Yeah.
At the end of the season. So it's remarkable how the season is not panning out the way.
Well, I mean, that's the thing that drives me crazy. I mean, this is how baseball works, is that the Orioles with Dean Kramer and Kyle Bradish and Kyle Gibson are Tyler Wells. I think Tyler Wells is hurt right now, are dominating. And the Toronto Blue Jays with Kevin Gausman and Jose Barrios and Alek Manoah just can't seem to get out of their way sometimes. Today, the Blue Jays lost to the Rockies, and it's their own fault. Obviously, if you lose a game, it's your fault. But like, they could have won that game. They were up 4-0 at one point, and they ended up losing. What was the final score of that thing? It was 8. They lost 8-7. So this Blue Jay team, like you just look at that, and you want to say, well, the Orioles have Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson. Well, the Blue Jays have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette. So I don't know if I think that Brandon Hyde is that good. Is Brandon Hyde that good of a manager? I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to think about the Blue Jays managerial situation with John Schneider. We all liked him last year. He took over for Montero and got the team to the playoffs. So that was good. But this year, I don't know. Is Vladdy not a good clubhouse leader, example setter? I don't know. There's just something do the guys in the rotation I don't know. There's just something weird feels like it's going on again with that Blue Jays team, that this is not a World Series team. Unless they start playing like the Seattle Mariners, this is not a World Series team. This is another team that will lose in the first round if they even make the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean,
thanks.
It's I expected more from the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Like I really did. I expected less from the Red Sox.
Oh yeah, this Yankees. You can put some of this year, like the Yankees put the eggs in the Carlos Rodon basket.
They did,
and that basket, there was a hole in that thing, right? All those eggs fell out as you went walking down the street. That basket was empty 5 feet later. So that hurt you, because if Carlos Rodon was pitching even to 80% of what he did with San Francisco last year and was actually out there pitching, there could be a different story. Rizzo doesn't get that concussion. It could be a different story. There's just some stuff that, I mean, this is how seasons sometimes are undone. That could be the thing. And that's why I don't think you can kill. Another reason why I don't think you can kill Cashman, and I don't think you can fire Boone. Like, it is, you could get on Cashman saying that, well, Carlos Rodon had the injury history and maybe you never should have signed him, but there's a big giant what if. What if Carlos Rodon had showed up day one? He was healthy and he was pitching like he was in San Francisco. The Frankie Montas thing is a disaster. But and that's something he should have seen coming, because there were more
Red flags.
recent problems, right? So I don't know. I think that this is one of those seasons for the Yankees where it's just like, this just sucked. Rodon was bad. Rodon was hurt. Rizzo had the concussion. We missed a ton of time with Judge. Judge still isn't right. I watched Judge today score on a throw from home, and I love it's like gingerly. Yes, it's like fast, slow, ginger running Judge. Don't run too hard, my guy, but run. Don't run too hard. He just kind of scoots in before the ball comes in, and he looks like he's not running that hard. And you're like, oh yeah, that's right, his toe. So it's like, it's just
legs.
Yeah, exactly. And Marcus, there you go. All the Yankee fans wanted Carlos Rodon. So like Cashman delivered on what Yankee fans wanted.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Yankee fans wanted Rodon. They wanted them to re-sign Judge. They wanted Benintendi. They wanted Joey Gallo, right? They wanted all these moves, and he made these moves. So
yep.
I said this the other day, and a lot of people got pissed off at me. Like, it's okay for us to take a little bit of ownership too. It's like we asked him for it too.
Yeah. So, and Carlos Rodon could be a Cy Young candidate next year.
He could.
And next year, if you have Cole and Rodon Cy Young candidates next year, and these rookies take another step, like the Yankees could dominate next year.
Yeah. Yeah. And like NFE said, what do we think about Yankees? He could be a pretty good left-handed reliever here. I don't know if he'd be the late inning guy. I mean, if I had to choose between Chafin and Bader, I'd go after Bader. But
yeah, not
Bader, Hader. But Chafin could be a pretty reliable.
Oh, I think Andrew Chafin is like a. I would not want to get to a position where I'm relying on him in high leverage situations again and again and again and again. Like I'm comfortable with Chafin working some matchups, working in 6th or the 7th inning, but then I don't think I want to see him after that. I want to have somebody more reliable, somebody with more swing and miss stuff, somebody that is more dynamic.
Yeah, that's true. This is true. Yeah, Texas. Yes, Judge crashed through the gate, shitty gate, and missed 50 games. That's part of it too.
That stadium, they have a problem. That Judge is not the first time that's happened. That concrete that goes around that's I don't know, what is it, like a foot, whatever, from the dirt, from the ground to the gate. It's not just in the outfield, it's also like along the baselines. I don't know how that stadium has not figured out a way to pad that damn thing or replace it. If Aaron Judge was a Dodger next year, that stadium's going to have some padding going around over that concrete.
Damn right, yeah. Yeah. I mean, so true. It's so freaking true. Judge. The problem was the Yankees looking for hidden gems or high risk, high reward players in the last 3 years. I think a combination of the two. Like, there was some consistency to Benintendi. He was the contact guy that they wanted. Unfortunately, just
injured. Oh yeah, I wanted Benintendi as a Blue Jay fan. I wanted Andrew Benintendi bad, so I can't fault you for that. And he played. He was okay with you guys, and then he got hurt. Right when you needed him, he was hurt.
Yeah, and then he came back, but it wasn't enough time for him to.
No, and then at least you don't have the deal the White Sox have, because Benintendi, I don't know. I just don't think.
$85 million for 5 years. That's a lot of money for him.
And he's not playing well. He's not hitting the ball hard. He has regressed again. How many times are you going to regress in your career until we finally say, okay, I'm done? Like, the White Sox are stuck holding the bag. But Andrew Benintendi, this is his 3rd regression in his career. How many times can you do that?
Yeah, the Yankees dodged a bullet.
Yes, they did. Oh, yeah, big time.
I'm grateful for that. Yeah. Dodged the bullet with Gallo. I get it too. Okay, fine. It didn't work. I mean, not every trade is going to pan out. It's just
Right.
and that applies to every team. Like, I mean, look at the Aroldis Chapman with the Rangers. He's like strong starter, but he's been collapsing towards the second half of the season again with Texas
Hmm.
Rangers. This is
Hmm.
textbook Aroldis Chapman. Like, these moves just happen.
Betts just I don't Betts just struck out looking in the bottom of the ninth.
No, Mookie.
Ooh, Tonkin struck him out looking in the bottom of the ninth. That's anybody. That's your MVP. Sorry, I have no problem if Mookie ends up winning the MVP, but dude,
And he's still tied
wow.
at one?
Yeah, they're going to the 10th.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're going to the 10th, 1-1.
Oh, God. Mookie.
I mean, he's amazing. I don't mean to say anything bad about him, but and baseball's baseball. Sometimes you go down and look at right. He's looking for a slider. He's looking for a changeup. He's looking for whatever, and the pitcher gets him with a fastball because maybe Mookie's done his homework, and that pitcher on a 2-2 count in the past goes breaking ball, and he surprised him. That's the chess match, right? So I get it. You can't judge it on the whole thing, but I still, damn, going down looking. This is big for the Dodgers. Like they lost the first 2 games of this series, and this is big.
This could be a yes preview right here.
You can't lose this game and lose the first 3 games of this series because, I mean, all eyes are on you. You're the home team. You're trying to catch the Braves for that number 1 spot. You don't want to have to go through Atlanta potentially to represent the NL in the World Series. And this is a big series.
Braves are tough, man. Braves are tough. I mean, they're not
Yep.
sexy fun, but they are tough, man. They win
Yep.
small, low scoring. They win all different types of games. So you could see that it's a well constructed team.
I think Acuna is going to get to 40 homers.
Yeah,
I think he's going to. I think he is going. I think he's going to go he's going to go 40 and 70, and we're just going to be trying to wrap our heads around this season for the next 10 years. We're going to try to be wrapped. How in the hell did somebody steal 70 bases and hit 40 home runs? Because he's got 3 home runs in this series. He's up to 32. He could hit 8 home runs over the next 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it is.
Yep. And he's one of the few guys that are actually taking advantage of the bigger bases. Like well,
I think there's a lot of guys doing it, but he is. It feels like it's his game.
He's all over.
Right?
Yeah.
It's his game. I think about the. I'm sorry. WWE and LA Knight, and that's one of LA Knight's things is whose game is it? This is Ronald Acuna's game.
Yeah.
Like this is perfect for him with the speed and the power. It's pretty remarkable. I mean, I mean, the fact that the Dodgers are putting some heat on the Braves, the fact that over the last couple of weeks, the narrative has popped up that Mookie's got a claim for the MVP is the reason. Yeah, he's motivated by that. He came into this season. I remember reading a quote about how he was motivated to prove everybody wrong that thought that maybe he was not the best player in baseball anymore. And he was going to go. It was like he was going to unleash the monster or something. I don't remember what the quote was, but it was something to that effect. And when I saw that, I was like, oh,
yeah,
he's healthy. And if he's healthy, these new rules are perfect for him.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, he's taking advantage, full advantage of it. More power to him.
There are more players that should. I don't know. There's some teams I think have been slow to adapt to the stolen bases, like the Blue Jays. I think Bo Bichette should have 25 steals this year. And I don't know if Bo has 10. There's definitely there are teams that are sort of slower to the punch here.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, he's got the wheels for it. Now, did Judge actually do this, Angelo? Is he suing the Dodgers from? Can he do that? I don't know. I haven't heard
if he can.
about this one.
I don't know
About Judge throwing a suit.
I think that would be front page stuff if that happened.
Yeah, I mean that's a crazy.
Man,
Hell,
I think
yeah,
that I mean,
that's
maybe he I don't think he could. No,
emotionally.
I don't think he could.
Yeah, that'd be tough. I mean, I don't know. These guys are kind of playing at their own risk. I don't know. I
Right.
can't, I haven't heard anything about that, Angelo.
Right.
I know a lot of people want him to do it. I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. So, uh, he's already making $40 million. What the hell is he going to sue the Dodgers? I mean, what's he going to sue the Dodgers for? Like, I mean,
Right. Yeah. You would try to sue for lost wages and things of that nature. I don't think there's no evidence for that.
yeah,
There
it'd
are
be
there are
tough.
no lost wages. He doesn't get hurt. Like if his career ended, if it was a career-ending injury, he could. And the Yankees had a way to get out of that contract, but the contracts are guaranteed in baseball. So
100%.
nah, there's really nothing. The only thing would be like lost wages, or he doesn't need the Dodgers to pay his medical bills.
Yeah,
That's going to be taken care of.
yeah, I think he's all right.
Yeah.
I think he's all right. I don't think he's the type of player who would do that anyway.
No.
Yeah, I just don't. I can't see him doing that.
Mm-mm.
So again, yeah, I mean, he might have hit 60 again without the injury, and I'm missing. Maybe
Yeah.
he would probably be where Otani is right now in the mid 40s, 44, something like that. So
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
could have him. Maybe maybe he'll be
Yep.
100% next year. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what he's. Yeah, we'll see what he's gonna do. So I mean, but because he's got a 250. Like I mean, honestly, like if they don't get rid of Stanton, I hope Stanton hits his 500th here, and I hope Judge hits his 500th here, like shortly after
Yeah,
Stanton.
yeah.
Judge is at 250 now, so I mean, it'd be kind of cool to have two guys hit the 500 home run
Yeah.
work with the Yankees. Like we had A-Rod do it, like, but it'd be kind of cool to
Yeah,
see
Judge and Stan will get there. I don't know if Judge will.
this
I
500.
worry I worry about injuries and age catching up to Judge.
I hope.
I don't I feel like he's a big dude. Big dudes don't age well, right? Historically. Maybe Judge will be a freak, but I feel like you've got a situation where you've got 2024, 2025, maybe 2026 peak Judge years. And so we're looking at 50 homer possibility. If there's any injuries that creep up in that time, which I think we can say yes, there probably will be injuries that creep up.
Yeah,
I don't know if Judge gets to 400. Judge a lock. I
yeah,
don't know if he gets to 500. I think Stanton will get to 500 because Stanton has all these years, and Stanton basically just needs to do like
25 a year.
20, 25 a year, and I think Stanton can do that. I worry about Judge's. I worry about the injuries and the age and preventing him from getting there.
Yeah, I mean that's something I worry about too. I mean, if he hits, I mean, like even at 250 right now, he's 250 away. Yeah, I mean, even if you hit 40 for the next 6 years, that still puts you short. So,
Right.
like,
That's so like and that's like I think if you were to give me an average Judge home run number for the next 3 years, that's what I would give you. And then I say it's probably going to decline after that.
I would say so too.
I think so. 400 is an easy slam dunk, but
Yeah,
500 might be tough because he just got started late, right? He got started late. He's older, and he has already missed some considerable time to injuries.
yeah. I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, his didn't hit free agency until 31, where normal people hit free agency at 25. So he's almost 5 years behind, unfortunately, and
Yeah,
that's no
yeah,
fault of him. He just went through the college. That's how we went through the system.
yeah.
So
That's how I hope it doesn't hurt his. I hope it doesn't hurt his Hall of Fame candidacy. Like if
yeah,
he if he does crank 40 home runs a year for the next 6 years, comes up short of 500, and has some injury time, and like I just hope we don't look back and say, well, he only really did it for 6 years or 7 years. He really only. I hope that doesn't happen.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think he can probably approach What did the crime dog get? 493 McGriff, 493.
Right. He came up shy, but the problem was the steroid era.
Yeah.
Sort of like mutant did that his home run number did not look impressive anymore. 500 is the layup. Once you get to 500, you're in, as long as you don't have any allegations against you. And he missed it, and playing as long as he did for as many teams as he did, and then right after he retired, home run numbers skyrocketed. So those that were voting for him were like, wait, no, that's not impressive. That 30 home run thing that you did every year for 10 years, that's not impressive. Guys are hitting 50 now. It's sort of the writers, one of the worst jobs that they've ever done, voting for the Hall of Fame.
Yes, that's true. Now with Sean, with Gehrig only played until he was like 32. And he had
Gehrig's a whole different thing.
And he had 493. He also had 1,900 RBIs, in 12 years. You average 180 ribbies a year. So,
right.
He was a sick, just a ridiculous player.
Yeah, because I'm gonna pull up Judge's career stats. I don't have them memorized. He's had 3, we'll call them Hall of Fame seasons. 2017, 2021, and 2022. And this year's tracking to be that. So this could be his 4th Hall of Fame application seasons.
Yeah.
He's got to get 4 more. He's not going to get it. If he has a career-ending injury in 2025, he's not a Hall of Famer. He's got to get this year in the bag and then get 4 more Hall of Fame application seasons to be a lock. So now maybe that means so again, I think he should still be a Hall of Famer even if he doesn't get to 500. I don't want Sean to think that I'm saying, well, if he doesn't get to 500, he's not a Hall of Famer. If he gets to 400 home runs, he should be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I would agree.
His impact on Major League Baseball, I think he would definitely belong if he can give 4 more after this year. This year will be his 4th Hall of Fame kind of caliber season. 4 more of them. Give me 8.
Yeah, I mean I think the similar. It's a couple of similar players in that same boat. I think Bryce Harper. Is another one who has if he keeps that he's at 300 already. I think if he stays healthy too, he'll probably get between 400 and 500 home runs.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm gonna look at Harper now too. Harper.
Just for perspective, this is Gehrig. 493 homers, he had 2,700 hits. He batted .340.
Yeah. So yeah, he was amazing.
He was a machine. This is when center field was 490 feet also in Yankee Stadium. So shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I actually think Lou Gehrig, because his career was cut short, unfortunately ends up, I don't know, is he not rated properly?
I think it should be rated closer to Babe Ruth.
No, I think Lou Gehrig, Lou Gehrig's a guy that, I don't know, should he be one of the top 4 players of all time?
I think so.
I mean, he played first base, so right, he was not playing a super athletic, defensively difficult position. So that's kind of a knock, right? So Willie Mays, yes, go right ahead. You were in center field, we get that. Ted Williams, you missed time to the war, right? There's that. But he was done at 35.
Yeah.
And I think it is very safe to assume that even 30, his age 35 season was impacted. I think it's safe to assume that he had 3 or 4 more years, he would have blown past 2,000 RBI. He would have had
600.
He would have blown past 3,000 hits.
Yeah.
He may have pushed, depending on how he was doing, maybe he would have hung around and hit and collected 4,000 hits. He would have been over 600 home runs. if he had played 4 more years, if he had played 36, 37, 38, and maybe 39. Now, again, at that time, you started to regress at that age, unlike some of the players we saw during the last 20, 30 years where they got better. But I still think a regressing Lou Gehrig was easily 30 homers a year. So that takes you to 600 home runs if he plays 4 more years. Yeah, I mean, I think
I put him up.
He would have been
Cobb.
You put him up. Yep.
Put him up there with Cobb. I mean, Ruth was like the best pitcher in baseball for 5 years before he transitioned over. So he's another like a special case for me. He averaged 19 wins a year before he went to hitting. So like, he was a special case for me. But like, Gerrit was more of like a Ty Cobb type and more like a Willie Mays type. Like, those were different types of players. Like,
right.
A whole nother, like, I mean, Babe Ruth to me, I mean, he was like a big fat slob, but like, it was Babe Ruth. Like,
well, he wasn't even that big and fat. Like, I think that's one of the things that kind of gets lost because the movies that have been made about him, he's played by John Goodman. So he wasn't as big as John Goodman.
Special. Babe Ruth. He's the most talented I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know. I think Lou Gehrig to me is easily top 5. I would swap Cobb out. So I'm looking at ESPN's top 25 right now. They went Babe Ruth 1, Willie Mays 2, Hank Aaron 3, Ty Cobb 4, Ted Williams 5, and Lou Gehrig 6. And then I feel like then it goes Mickey, Barry, Walter Johnson, and Stan Musial. I think I'm moving Ty Cobb
6
behind Lou Gehrig. Yeah, I'm gonna put I'm moving Lou Gehrig. Lou Gehrig's in my top 5 all time.
He was a special player, man.
He was.
I mean, man, what a block! Like, it's just like a block of granite, man. He was
yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, if he had played 3 more years and not had his career cut short, I think that you probably have him. There may be an argument for him to be number 3.
Could be.
If he had played those years, but he didn't. And, same thing could be said if Ted Williams had played those years he was at the War, then you would say, well, no, Ted Williams is number 1 if Ted Williams hadn't gone off to War. If Ty Cobb had played in a different era, if Ty Cobb had played 20 years later, maybe Ty Cobb's hitting home runs, and his career's different. So everyone's got it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's got their thing.
Yeah, and Ty Cobb was, I mean, what did he average? Maybe 12 home runs a year. He only had about 150 home runs in his career.
Yeah, I mean, because it wasn't the time, and I'm pretty sure when he was playing, the ball was absolute shit. So, like you didn't expect it.
And he batted .367. Like,
yeah, it's amazing. But again, it was a different time.
Yeah. Like, shit, .367.
And he was such an asshole. Think about just life. Do you think an umpire was ever comfortable calling a strike when he was in the box?
No.
Let's be real for a minute. Was there ever an umpire that called a strike on Ty Cobb? There's no way.
True.
So it's easy to hit 366 when the umpire isn't calling strikes. Everything's a ball. It's a 3-0 count every time.
Yep. He had Tommy Lee Jones play him too. Like, he played Gary Gilmore, a serial killer.
Dude, his on-base percentage in 2015 was .486.
Fucking 4,000 hits.
Because the umpires wouldn't call a strike. Yeah, I could hit 300 if it was a ball if I didn't swing.
Like,
death threats. You can see the rookie umpire that steps up into there. He's like, "Hey!" Cobb's gonna look back at him like, "You."
Yeah.
And then okay, I got you.
Here's your one warning. I'm gonna spike you in the neck next time. Okay.
Exactly. D-Rod, he won those batting titles because nobody called a strike.
He was.
Yeah, it's funny.
He was a freaking. Yeah, he was not a power hitter, but he was one of the scariest players. He was one of the dirtiest players too. Like he'd spike you right in the face. Like
exactly. He probably if you called a strike on Ty Cobb, he would take his cleat off and smack you in the face with it with the pointy side. So there's no way.
Yeah, he was. People were afraid of him. Players, everybody was afraid of the guy. So like all 115 pounds of him. Like he was fucking crazy.
By the way, the Braves just won again.
Oh shit!
Oh boy, in Atlanta, in LA, it is the first 3 games to the Braves, and Acuna's homered in all 3 of these games.
Oh my god! Just strengthening that MVP.
This is great because I'm going to do my live stream tomorrow night, and I mean, a sweep would be content gold, but at the very least, the fact that Atlanta's taken 3 out of 4 at the least and has a chance for a sweep, Braves fans are going to be very vocal on social media tomorrow.
Oh yeah, they will.
So they are going to be out. There's going to be a GD parade tomorrow if there's a sweep.
Oh man, who do they have going for tomorrow on the mound tomorrow?
That's a good question. They've already thrown out. It's probably Kershaw tomorrow. I don't think Kershaw's pitched in the series yet. No, it's Charlie Morton against Bobby Miller tomorrow.
Charlie Morton versus Bobby.
Oh, thank God, and it's early. It's one of the early games. You guys are the late game tomorrow.
What do we got?
What's up?
What do we got? 7 o'clock game or 4 o'clock game tomorrow?
You got the 7 o'clock. You got the ESPN game.
Of course.
You got King and Javier. Javier's going to walk half the lineup, so be ready for that. You've got but this is I couldn't be more happy because I'll be able to. Usually, I do my live stream Sunday night, and it's like the Sunday night baseball game's still going on. So I don't know how ESPN ended up in this position. I mean, listen. I guess it's Yankees and Astros, and there's the whole 2017 thing and all that. But Braves and Dodgers would have been the way to go.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they don't have it because that game will be in the books, and I'll be able to talk about how that series played out. That's big.
Bobby Miller versus Charlie Morton. Wow. Okay.
I mean, you got to think the advantage is Charlie, but we'll see.
He's experienced, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Morton. And Morton's ERA this year is good, 3.29. He's been solid. Like if you were to guess what Charlie Morton's ERA is, you'd probably say it was higher than 3.29.
Isn't he pushing 40?
I think so. Yeah.
Still crafty.
I do think so. Yeah, let me see what his age is. Charlie Morton. Yeah. He is 39 and 294 days old.
Oh my God! So another 2.5 months, he's 40.
Yep.
Like and they'll keep 1 year dealing him as long as he's willing to take it. So like it just makes sense to 1 year deal him. Well.
Yep.
Yeah. No. Good for the Braves, man.
Dodgers 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position.
Oh my God!
Left 10 on base. Mookie looking. I'm just writing my notes for tomorrow. Looking at K3 in the 9th. Woo!
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow. These guys, are they shutting down Freddie Freeman too?
What was Freeman tonight? I think I got to take a look at all the box scores. I'm not sure if they were able to shut down Freddie. I mean, tonight everybody was shut down. It was, the Dodgers scored 1 run.
Yeah.
So everybody was shut down tonight. Yesterday, though, come on, go to Friday. Friday night, it was 6-3. God, this is so slow. Freddie went 1 for 3.
All right.
Did not do a whole lot. And then on Thursday, that was the close game. That was the game of the series to this point. that 8-7 game and the late comeback attempt. Freddie went 1 for 3. So Freddie's not killing it. But this is it. This is what we're going to see in October. It's pitching. It's just so important to have the pitching. You can have Freddie Freeman marching towards his 60 doubles. You can have Mookie Betts trying to throw a wrench in the MVP situation. But if you're there and Spencer Strider and Charlie Morton and Bryce Elder and Max Fried are going to go out there and give you an opportunity to win every time against no matter what. This is why the Orioles are screwed. Like the Orioles, it's a fun story. And maybe the Orioles do make their way to the World Series. But if they have to go up against that Atlanta Braves rotation, they're toast. They're absolutely toast. It's no longer about, well, Dean Kramer's been pitching really well, and Kyle Bradish is a bulldog and all this other stuff. When Kyle Bradish has to go up against Spencer Strider and Dean Kramer has to go up against Max Fried, they're effed.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Shit. Deep. I think. I mean, I don't know who the hell can beat the Braves in the World Series.
It's probably Houston.
You didn't think it'd beat the Braves?
I think the only team that would have a shot would be Seattle. Seattle strikes out so much though. So you give an opportunity for those Braves pitchers to work their way through that Seattle lineup, I think they'll do a ton of damage. So I don't like how that Seattle lineup would fare against this crew. So, and I do not feel good if I'm a Rays fan going into the playoffs with Zach Eflin as my second horse.
No. Especially with went down Tommy John. So like, shit.
Right. And yeah, exactly. So, like, if Tampa could put together a rotation of all their hurt guys, it would look better than the guys that are still out there.
Yeah.
You have Drew Rasmussen, you'd have Jeffrey Springs, and you would have Shane McClanahan. That's better than what they're actually throwing out there right now.
Yeah.
So
Sands Juan DeFranco now too. So
right, and I mean they're still winning without Wander. But it's going to come down to pitching in the playoffs. So
yeah.
The team that could maybe stop the Braves, right? The Braves, if somebody's cold or hurt or not performing, so if the Braves beat themselves, but in the American League, I don't know. I think Houston, if Framber Valdez and Justin Verlander are pitching lights out, Christian Javier is worrisome. Who am I blanking on over there for Houston? Who am I blanking?
Yeah,
Verlander, Valdez,
Framber, Christian Javier.
Oh, Hunter Brown. Well, that's the worry. That would be the thing to worry about is that Hunter Brown and JP France being thrown into the gauntlet for the first time. How do they do?
You got beat by the Yankees today, Hunter Brown. Yankees beat.
Right. So I don't. Yeah. Houston would be the team I put the money on, though. If I had to bet on a team that could beat the Braves, in the if they met up in the World Series, I would say it's probably Houston. It ain't my Blue Jays. It ain't your Yankees. Even though you guys are handling Houston right now. You roll up in a 7-game series.
A different world, man.
It's a different world.
They swept our asses in the LCS last year, so yeah, they no-hit us. They freaking no-hit us in the LCS. So
yeah, yep. And that's not the Christian Javier who's out there right now. That's kind of messing things up for them.
Yeah,
they need him. They needed him, and they just don't have him. So they're gonna have to rely on that bullpen. But even still, like if you're Houston. And you need to go like this. You need to go Verlander game 1, Valdez game 2, bullpen game 3 with Hunter Brown or JP France kind of worked into the plan that day. And then, with off days built back in, you may be able to swing right back to Justin Verlander and be fine. So they may be able to work that just fine.
Yeah. What are you thinking going game 4 and game 7, Verlander? something like that.
No, I would think Verlander game 1. Yeah, Verlander, depending on the off days, maybe you go game 1 and game 4, and then you're sort of
Available for Game 7.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like you sort of have to, you sort of set up the first 3 games or the first 4 games, maybe, or even just the first 3 games to see how it's going. And
Yeah,
if you need Verlander in game 4 because you're down 2 games to 3, or you're down one game 1-2,
yeah,
maybe Verlander's available for a game 4 if you've lost two of the first 3 games.
I could see that. I could see that, man. Yeah, yeah. It's. I'm still. I mean, I don't know, man. If I was a betting man, I'd bet on the Braves right now, but we'll see.
Yeah, 100%. That's the team. That's the team they've been number 1 on my power rankings for months, despite a couple of teams that made charges, right? The Dodgers had made a charge, the Orioles made a charge for that one spot, but it's the Braves, and it's not. It just
Yeah,
really hasn't been close.
they just look too balanced, and they just look way too good. Yeah, winning all different types of games, like
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
that's the type of team you want in the World Series. So
That's
we'll,
right.
we'll see. But I'm going for the Braves right now, but we'll see. I mean, they got to get through. You know, they could shit the bed in the from the NLDS ball. We know, like I don't know. We have no idea.
Yeah.
We have no idea. But I'm betting on them if I am. But dude, I didn't realize I kept you like super long here. Almost.
I just looked at the clock. I was like, wait, this Dodgers and Braves game is over. It's gotta be late. And I realized it's midnight. Like,
Yeah,
oh shit.
yeah, I know. Man.
Hey, by the way, I have to give a shout out. I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Jimmy Buffett and all the land sharks out there.
Yes, yes. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Goodbye, Jimmy. That was a tough one. Well, I guess yesterday now. That sucked.
You'll be missed. You're a legend, man.
Mm-hmm.
You be. No doubt about
Exactly.
it. Peace. And rest in peace to Tony Bennett too, another legend. So like we lost a couple of good ones over the last week or two.
I didn't see Tony Bennett. Really?
Tony Bennett, we just got he was he a
How
week
did I?
ago? He was like
I mean,
it might have been 99.
right?
And we just lost Bob Barker from The Price is Right this week too.
Tony Bennett. Oh, Tony Bennett went. Oh, Tony Bennett died. Tony Bennett died in July, end of July.
End of July. Okay.
Time goes by fast. So
Yeah.
5 weeks ago can feel like a week ago. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I do think I now that you say that, I do think I think I heard that.
I mean he's another class act, man. Him, Buffett, like all class acts.
Yeah.
All class act. Bob Barker, who by the way is
I did see that.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was a black belt in Kung Fu. So old man Bob Barker. So
Bob Barker was the real deal.
yeah, I always give shout outs to the belts. I mean James Caan, Sonny from The Godfather, was a 6th-degree black belt in Kyokushin karate. And his son Scott, black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I always like to give shout out to the black belts. So I mean, there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
a lot of them. So, but man, I want to thank you for coming on, man. And really, this is it's always fun. When time flies when we're having a good time. And again, we always find stuff that we would not spend a lot of time about the Jays and the Yanks. It's okay. It's a lot of other stuff to talk about.
I mean, we'd like to, but like, the Jays are kind of playing. The only interesting element to the Jays is when they don't win. It's like, they didn't win again. Why? Well, like Manoah was terrible, or Barrios got lit up, or Vladdy struck out again. And like, unfortunately, that's the problem. And at least you guys have something. You guys have some good, interesting going on with the kids.
The youth movement. I hope it stays energetic. I hope it stays productive. I hope it stays healthy. Like, I hope they keep giving it a chance, because how else are they going to find out what they need in free agency if they don't do it? So, like, I'm glad that they're at least embracing shit they haven't embraced in years. So
they need to do it. I thought Dominguez would be next year. I really did. With how they've operated in the past, that was a surprise, but I'm glad they did it.
Me too. I actually was willing to move him for Juan Soto. So,
well, I mean, if that's what you needed to do, but I mean, at the same time, like, there's still the looming factor is just he's. I think you guys are going to be one of the favorites to sign him in free agency. So just hold on. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, be patient. Let's develop. Let's see if Jason Dominguez is the guy, because if he's the guy, that's not going to change our plans on trying to sign Juan Soto. It's not like if Jason Dominguez is great, that okay, we don't need Juan Soto anymore. It just adds to it. And then you have an outfield of Judge, Dominguez, and Soto. And
yeah,
then you can move Pereira for starting pitching or something like that. Like,
yeah,
I because you guys are going to have a chance to sign him in free agency, I wouldn't. Last year would have been the year to do it when you could get 3 years of him. Now, this year, especially the way things were kind of going anyway,
yeah.
it was too late. I would definitely hold the course. Who knows? Maybe the Padres will trade Juan Soto next year for like one prospect.
Yeah,
Preller will be like, I got to get something,
yeah,
and you know, and you'll be able to get him for Wells or something, right?
yeah. I
And
mean, shit.
you know,
Instead of giving up half the farm, yeah. But I mean, you're right too. Like, if you can wait until free agency and we can hold off until then,
yeah,
he's only going to be 25
hmm
when you sign. He's going to cost a lot, yes.
yeah.
But I would rather take a gamble on him personally than
Mhm.
Ohtani at
It's
30.
well, and that's why, like, if the Dodgers, if you could have traded for Ohtani, I still wouldn't have done it.
Yeah,
Just
I
be patient. Be patient. Go sign. You're going to be one of the teams, if we're ranking the top 5 teams to sign Ohtani or
yeah,
sign Soto. The Yankees would be one of the top 3 teams to sign Soto. The Dodgers would be the top team to sign Ohtani. So, like, just wait, because of how many prospects it takes to give up for those guys.
yeah. I mean, do you want to give up half your farm and 500 million, or just pay the 500 million?
Right. Don't pay both. Pay one. Pay
Yeah,
one time.
yeah. I mean, it's true, and I guess
Yep.
Yankee fans impatient by nature. Like, we want Soto now, but
Hmm.
at the end of the day, if we can wait and still keep all these guys,
Yeah.
add Soto to these guys, then
Yeah.
shit, that's a big ask.
Exactly. That's even better. It is better to have Soto and Dominguez and finish third in the American League East in 2024 than it is to trade Soto and give up Dominguez. And then in 2025, you may not have either of them on your team.
Yeah, exactly.
I would rather try to win 6 consecutive World Series championships with those 2 guys on my team than
Okay.
maybe get one. Maybe.
Yeah. So
Uh,
and then you got other guys coming. You got Spencer Jones. Like, you have these other guys that are coming down the pipeline. Again, with that positional versatility, Spencer Jones is that outfielder, but maybe he profiles at first base. Maybe they're looking at him to be the next first baseman because he's another big Judge type of guy. I mean,
yeah.
we don't know. We don't know.
I have to think at some point, Jones or Pereira get dealt. I have to think at some point, just when you get to a point where you just have such a wealth in
Yeah,
one area and you have an obvious weakness in another area, try to spread that wealth around. And somebody has to, if you can make it work, somebody's got to move, because I mean, these are guys too that they're outfielders. Like, I don't think Pereira. I mean, I guess Pereira could eventually be a first baseman or
yeah.
something, but
But
I don't know.
the situation too is like, if you have Soto and if you have Judge, you have 2 positions clogged up for the next decade. So
Mhm.
you got 1 position left. Who's
Right.
that?
So looking at Jones, Dominguez, and Pereira, you exactly. You start looking at, well, we can't play them all, and we have a glaring need in the rotation because Carlos Rodon won't stay healthy,
Yep.
and Gerrit Cole's going to opt out after the 2024 season. You've got all that to weigh
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. There's a
He
lot of
won't. There's no way he opts out. By the way,
no.
I just know that that's in the contract.
Yeah, and the Yankees can negate the opt out instantly by adding a year to the contract, which it would be nuts. Because how in the world are you going to replace him? First of
Right.
all, in
Right.
free agency, you're not.
You got to, yeah. Even if that last year you just eat it,
Just give
like,
him the year.
then eat it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
give him the year. He after what he's given you so far, give him
Mhm.
the freaking year.
Mhm.
So, and it's not like this isn't a CC Sabathia situation. Like, They were afraid of CC opting out. They gave him 2 more years. Okay, but he had all these problems too. These off the field problems. Cole doesn't have these. He's a
Cole is one of the most dependable, durable pitchers.
yeah.
It is so rare in this game with all of the injuries that we see.
And we're so lucky to have him, man. And he's a bulldog on this team. A freaking bulldog on this team. So I would personally, I keep saying this, I would have made him co-captain with Judge.
Cole, yeah, no, it's a fair. I think I saw your take on that once before. Cole's more of a leader in the clubhouse than Judge.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I think that Gerrit Cole feels like one of those pitchers that will be able to pitch till he's 40. Right? Yeah. Like think about this durability. Just kind of makes you feel like, yeah, he's going to be able to pitch just like Scherzer, just like Verlander. This is a guy that's still going to be effective at 39, 40. I think that's 100%. When is he looking at Cole's contract right now? He got 33 right now, right?
He's got 5
34, 35, 36, 37, 38. You would have to add 39. Yeah, you do it because I think you'll still get something good, really good from him at age 39 in 2029.
You'll get his 3,000 strikeout here. You'll get, I don't know, 250, 200, whatever the win total, but like he would hit Hall of Fame milestones here.
And that would be huge because he would truly feel like a Yankee.
Yeah.
Like as Stanton starts getting these milestones, it's kind of like, he's in a Yankee uniform, okay. But Cole feels like a Yankee, even though he's kind of just got there still. It's been what? This is year 4. I thought this was year 3. Jesus, time flies.
He's a high IQ player. He's a thinking. He reminds me of the power pitching capability of Nolan Ryan, but the thinking man's game of Greg Maddux.
Yeah,
he's like the combination between the two.
I wish he could start getting. Cole feels like a guy.
Yeah, wait. I mean, he had like 17 wins this year. He's had so many goddamn no decisions. Like
no, that's what I was gonna say. Is like he's got 12 wins. He had 13 wins last year, 16 wins in 2021, and that was league leader. Like, dude's got to start winning. Dude's got to start stacking some 20-win seasons here.
Yeah, man. Like we need to score some runs for this guy.
Mm-hmm. He's not going to get to 300, but he could get to 250.
Yeah, and
3,000
Ks too. He'll definitely get 3,000 Ks.
Oh yeah, that's easy. That's in the bag. What's Verlander's win total at? They're talking about Verlander hanging around to try to get to 300 wins. He needs 46.
He's going to need 3 more years.
He's going to...
At 15 wins a year, he's going to need 3 more.
Yeah, literally his arm's going to fall off.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit.
He's not getting to 300 wins.
No, man. I mean,
it's not happening. 46 away? No.
Yeah, man, I don't want to see like a Dave Dredrecki where his arm breaks in half on the mound. Like shit.
Amazing.
He's he can hang it up right now. He'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, totally. 100%.
Just like Scherzer. Like, I know 300. I mean, 300 seems a little bit insurmountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm gonna look at this real quick. And then we'll wrap. I want to look at this. Are there any guys that could maybe do it? Hold on a minute. So Verlander's the leader with 254. Greinke's at 224. Scherzer's at 213. Kershaw's at 209.
Of those guys, I don't think so.
No, Kershaw would have to pitch until Kershaw's the youngest in that group. Kershaw is the youngest of the 200 win club at 35. And, every year's touch and go with him.
Yeah.
If he was locked in the mindset of just a Verlander, like I'm pitching till I'm 41 or 42, then maybe Clayton Kershaw has an outside chance.
Yeah.
Gerrit Cole is the youngest of the top 10. He's 32. The next, Bumgarner's done. He's washed. But Bumgarner aside, nobody's really even close in age. Lance Lynn's 36. Gerrit Cole's the youngest of the group. So if there's anybody, again, if he could pitch for 10 more seasons, pitch to that 41 or 42 mark, and again, you got to start getting him some runs. Gerrit
Yeah.
Cole. Gerrit
he
Cole's
at?
got to get a few. What's up?
Was he at 130 wins?
Cole is at 142.
142 and 77 or 80 or something like that? Or
Yeah. So 142 and what's going on already?
he's
I
got to
moved
win
off of the
15 a
screen.
year for the next 10 years to get to 290. Like,
Isn't that amazing?
shit.
That's why he's got to get like
Need a couple of 20
3 or
spots.
4. He needs like 3 or 4 20-win seasons.
Yeah, he does.
It's crazy how elusive 20-win seasons have become.
Mm-hmm. And we got CW saying Verlander's not making. Keep in mind, the CWE, excuse me, the Astros pitchers were not the ones that were really like fingered for cheating. It was the Astros hitters.
Mm-hmm.
It was Correa, Bregman, Altuve, Springer, like those guys. Those guys were fingered for cheating. I don't remember any of the pitchers being fingered. So I don't think. I think they're. They're scot free here in terms of the cheating thing. I mean,
Yeah, they're fine. And even still, like I don't even know who it was. Beltran who just paid the penalty for that, right?
Beltran, yeah, because he was considered one of the masterminds, right? Like he got fired in his first day as Mets manager because of it.
Right. I think that Beltran's still going to make it to the Hall of Fame, and as soon as he makes it to the Hall of Fame, you won't be able to hold out any of the other 2017 guys. Because then that's just not how they operate. So as soon as Beltran's in, then you get to a point where if Altuve gets to 3,000 hits, he just got his 2,000. If he gets to 3,000, I can see a path for some of those 2017 Astro hitters to get in once Beltran's in.
Like, these guys got to slaps on the wrist. Like it's honestly, it was a different level of accountability than freaking Pete Rose. Like it's a completely different story there.
Yeah,
I mean, their operation was blatant. Right? Pete Rose is a different type of blatant, but like it's yeah. The way that the game is now, I can't see them keeping them out of the Hall of Fame.
No, I mean, and really, like the 2017 Astros. Kind of hopping around here, but it's fun. The Altuve comes to mind as somebody who could work his way into. Altuve's 33, just got his 2000th hit.
He might be able to get there.
Altuve, yeah, maybe he could get there. I don't know. He's been putting instead of 200 hits a season like he was doing in his 20s, he's now kind of living in that 150 range.
Okay.
So I think Altuve comes up short of 3,000 hits. But the argument that he's going to have is that he was an 8-time All-Star at second base.
Shit. What's his
like
career?
You are getting to a conversation where he was the best second baseman for a 10, 11 year stretch.
Yeah.
Because even those years where he didn't make the Hall of Fame, like he had a really nice 2013. His 2013 was on par with his 2012. In 2012, he was an All-Star. 2013, he had a great 2019.
Oh yeah,
but he was not an All-Star.
Yeah.
So again, you're looking at like a guy that could say, okay, for a decade, this guy was the best second baseman in the American League. He was an All-Star every year. So the argument, the way he will not be first ballot. Altuve feels like a guy who ends up getting in late if he gets in at all. Last couple of ballots.
Yeah.
Correa is going to be an interesting one because his regular season numbers, I think, will always be sort of like meh, like mid. He's not getting to 3,000 hits.
Clutch performer though.
That's the thing. The clutch performer, his postseason numbers, because of how many playoff games he's played, he's already like among the league leaders in home runs all time in the postseason, but that's because he's played all these wild card round and divisional rounds and the LCS and the World Series. It's not like the guys that he's compared to that only played the World Series or only played the LCS and then the World Series. He's got a wild card round, a divisional round. He's got all these extra games. So his
Yeah.
numbers, his playoff numbers look really good.
Yeah, I mean, and that matters.
But his regular season, he's only got 2 All-Stars.
Is he
2
really?
All-Stars, 1 Gold Glove. Correa will be interesting because of the playoffs. I don't think he'll have the regular season numbers. I think he's is he 29?
I think so.
He's going to be 29 in a couple days. So he will have a couple of more injury-riddled seasons.
I think
So
so.
he's not, I don't even think he gets to 2,000 hits. But those playoff numbers will be interesting.
They matter.
They do.
You know, they freaking matter, man. It's there's a lot of interesting guys. I mean, there's a couple of shoe-ins, like Yachty's a shoe-in, Trout's a shoe-in, Kershaw's a shoe-in. Like, these guys are shoe-ins. Like,
Yep.
but after that, I mean, if Verlander's a shoe-in, Scherzer's a I'd be shocked that those guys aren't freaking first ballots. Like,
right. Well, just staying focused on the Astros part of it. I think Altuve's the only one that it gets interesting for.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Springer. I don't think Correa. Who else? The other bats that we're thinking about, like those Bregman. I don't think Bregman. So it's really Altuve because Bregman is turning 30. Bregman's not even at 1,000 hits. He's not at 200 home runs. So he's next year will be his age 30 season. So it's really going to be Altuve. Altuve is going to be the one to watch.
He's the guy, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. CWE. Was he the look like there's books that I have not read all the way through, but there are books. So my knowledge is coming from like secondhand stuff. Like the whole buzzer thing. I don't know if that was, I don't know. I cannot say definitively that they had a buzzer thing going on. There are reports that Altuve did not want to do did that whole banging thing and did not partake in that. There's reporting out there for that. He's been crucified for it and he gets booed for it. So I don't know.
So many stories.
There's just so many. So it's like, we're going to it's a court of public opinion. At the end of the day, it's going to be the writers who decide this, not us. And what information do the writers have that they feel is solid? I feel it'll be murky as hell. And that Altuve will be Altuve's going to be a close one. Altuve's going to be a close one. He's not going to get to 3,000 hits. He's not going to have a big home run milestone. But he's going to have
he'll have enough
all those
stats.
Yeah, all those all-stars. You got an MVP.
Yeah.
There's
he'll have enough batting titles. He'll have enough.
I think he probably, I mean, again, we're talking, what do they do, 10 years now? Like year 6, right? It's not going to be year 1, year 2, year 3. If he gets in, it's on the back half of that. Unless years 34, 35, 36, and 37 are ultra productive for him. That could change that.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting.
But oh my God, could you imagine that? Could you imagine that Hall of Fame ceremony and like Yankees fans showing up? What happens if he goes in? Oh God. I want this to happen, but I don't want it to happen. What if he goes in with a Yankee in the same year or a Dodger player? Yankee or Dodger in the same year. How old is Mookie Betts? If Mookie Betts is a couple years younger, then this adds to it. Mookie Betts is a couple years younger. So Mookie Betts could be a first-time Hall of Famer, a first ballot Hall of Famer, and Jose Altuve could be on his 5th ballot finally getting in. And they could go in together. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Shit show. Oh man, it would be amazing, man.
Oh my god,
Think of the drama.
that would be crazy.
Fireworks. Oh
That'd
my
be crazy.
god.
That'd be crazy.
Oh, God.
On that note, I think that's that'll be my walk off right there. I'll plant that seed in everybody's head.
You're
Mookie
welcome.
Betts and Jose Altuve going into the Hall of Fame. Mookie is a first timer. Altuve is on his 5th year.
I appreciate you coming on, man. It's always a treat. Looking forward to doing it next month again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, hopefully we'll have something good to talk about with some playoff stuff. Thank you guys thank you for having me. Check out the YouTube channel. Check out the podcast. I got a podcast. Check that out. Jason has been a guest on that podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Make
sir.
sure to check that out. Barreled Up Podcast. That's what you need to search.
Yeah,
Yep.
and Ballcap Sports. Jim, I'll catch you next time. Thank you, gang, for everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Your insights, your super chats, everything. Appreciate all yours. Peace and love, everybody. See you on the other side tomorrow. All right.